Hello world, this is Zan playing a new game that's not currently streaming, I think. There it is. Alright, hello world, this is Zan. I'm playing here Bannerlord, or Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord, which came out sometime recently. And specifically, I'm playing the CRPG mod that's a persistent online multiplayer for it. I'll warn you beforehand, I'm not too good at this. I used to be pretty good. I think in high school is when I played this a good bit. I was a very good spear and shielder, but at the moment for this mod, that's not really a very viable playstyle. Spears are, in my opinion, at least for an infantry, very underpowered. So I'm forced to actually bring a sidearm and deal with this that way, which I'm working on it. I'm not too great. But it gets kills. It does a lot more damage. For now, this game mode, it's mainly just a regular deathmatch. You get 1 life per spawn. Everyone's got their kind of directional attacks. Medieval infantry, crossbows, bows and arrows, cavalry. And there is a sort of capture the flag going on. But most people tend to ignore it until there's 1 flag instead of 3. That's not particularly a good idea to do that, I think, but it's just what people do, and my aim is terrible. But we'll work with it. Maybe I get lucky sometimes. Hey there, Duckworth. You are here quick. I don't have the second computer running, so I'll mostly be checking chat when I'm dead. Don't worry, that'll be often. This guy himself will probably do it. I mean, his name is Bread. I think I'm slightly faster. Did I get a good hit? Nope. And I don't want to swap to my spear, because then if he does decide to fight me, I'm not going to be able to fight him off with the spear. Shit, man. The excitement of just chasing one dude. And I do nothing for that one. Because I was watching YouTube on my phone. Fair enough, man. You played Light Cavalry on Warband? Warband was the shit, man. I played way more hours in that than I care to admit, both in single player and then multiplayer. I think single player was, there was a big mod called Prophecy of Pendor. That was the shit. That was hard as heck. But it's pretty damn fun. Oh crap. Why does everyone run? Okay, well, flag's ours. At the 4-on-4, I don't want to leave Bale of Hay over there. His name's in yellow, because technically he's on my friends list. We must have done something in Warband. Shit. Okay, 1 down. 2 down. I'm assuming the last one's over there. Don't need that. Take this, because maybe I'll get lucky and hit him with ranged. Maybe I won't. Damn. And then there's people that do shit like this. Are all about low bro code or internet honor and chivalry, rather than, you know, just trying to play the game and win. Kind of sad, honestly, but hey, it is what it is. Let's see. Have I tried Wormworld? Yes, I did. I learned a lot and did a lot of Dwarf Fortress back in the day. And by natural progression, I did Rimworld shortly after. I did it before they've done any of the mods, and it's been years. I think it was like when Rimworld first released, or I think it was like early access when I tried it. It was pretty damn fun, I'm not gonna lie. I really wanted to set up... There you go, he got kicked for doing that shit. I really wanted to set up multiple colonies, and I think back then that wasn't really a thing you could do. I think you could do it now, though. I honestly haven't looked at Wormworld in ages. what has changed since, I guess, early access? I haven't even looked at what, I think they have 2 expansions now. What do they even do? We should voice chat. It's probably more exciting than narrating my ass getting beat here. Yeah, let me... which Discord do you want to hop into? I think you're more on immersion, right? Three expansions, holy shit. Just join one, I'll look for you. Okay, let me hopefully not get lanced. Shoot. Where the heck are the voice channels in... I don't want to get kicked either. I tried to look for them and couldn't find them on immersion. I'll check again in a second. Okay. Yeah, let me go get myself killed. Shouldn't be too hard. Shit. Okay. Let's see. Let's hop into the chat in immersion. There's so many threads there. Oh, here we go, voice channels. I joined on immersion. There's because I need some privacy channel. I don't know if there's anything special. And hey there, Daniel. Not to minions, yes. I think I unlocked like community posting the other day, and I kind of mentioned I do want to try and play some other non-Dominion games occasionally. And this one specifically, I played it a lot in high school, had a lot of fun with it. I don't think I'm as good as I was, but I still try and I still have a little bit of fun. It's also interesting seeing the same people that played back, like, this was 10 years ago, that played 10 years ago. They're the same names you run into now, and it's crazy. And they're still pretty damn good. So maybe it's just my problem. Hello, hello. Alright, Darkwolf, I moved you to the channel. Not sure if you got your mic ready.
Oh, hello. I thought I could hear you from the stream, so I just thought you were talking the stream. That was funny. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Oh, shoot.
I'm doing well, dude. Just playing RimWorld, I'm gonna be honest with you.
There you go. That'd be a fun game to stream and figure out how the hell to play it again.
Dude, it is so fun. The mods are great, the DLC is great, the free expansions are great. One of the DLCs was overpriced for what it was, but the other two are just worth it.
Really? And what are these DLCs?
So the first one added, or was called Royalty. Sorry. Okay, there's no way I could stay tuned into your stream while talking to you. Because I'd hear me twice.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna...
But, yeah, so the first one was the... it added a faction called the Empire, which is like this faction that's in every game. And they're super, super strong, kind of Roman, with nobility and stuff. And so you can manage the reputation with them and like ascend through their nobility. and then it added psionics. That was the one that was definitely worth the least. Like,
Really?
they charged the same amount for all of them. Yeah, at the time, everyone was happy with it. But, like, they've just released... Each DLC since has had more content, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, the next one they released was Ideology, which lets you choose your nation's ideology. Or
Okay.
your,
General camp.
colony. Yeah. And it's just super... There's a lot of the unofficial, like, challenge runs people did are represented in it. But there's so many things you can do with it. Like, here, if I turn on dev mode so I can see them all. But there is just, like, you can make it where your people, like, have mood debuffs from cutting down trees. If you're trying to play pacifist, you can give them buffs. You can make them... all of your people cannibals, which used to be, like, a hard thing to do. You can kind of just play the way you
People hats?
do.
You didn't use people hats often?
No. So, because the way it worked previously is each colonist had... If the only way you'd ever have it happen is if they had the psychopath trait.
Mhm.
And that still exists, but with your ideology, and you could spread it by converting people and convincing them to switch to your ideology, you can give it certain effects like cannibalism, whether they care being around dead bodies, whether they care if their clothes are tattered, stuff like that.
That's pretty useful.
A bunch of them, of course, are separated from each other, but it's... The big thing is the fact that it gives you a lot of variety in the way you could play for different ones. And there's a bunch of low impact stuff that's like, oh, this is flavor, or this is just kind of something I pick in my run, and then there's high impact stuff that defines the whole game. Like, there's one where your people are only happy if they're blind, where animals have the same rights as people, where your leader's always selected in a gladiatorial fight, and you can't do anything about it, like stuff like that.
I'm getting a lot of vibes from Stellaris, actually.
Yeah, it's actually kind of similar to
Yeah.
the way you choose the background for Stellaris.
Yeah, so you have the ideologies being your Stellaris backgrounds. You said that Empire faction, they can be just any, like, the Fallen Empires in that case.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. And you can choose whether to go against it from the beginning or work with it or whatever, or ascend in its ranks. But yeah, so the ideology, like, content pack, it came with a bunch of other stuff. Like, whenever they do a DLC, they add stuff to a lot of the game. And like, they added a mechanoid, but that was the main component, and it just gives you a lot of...
You can make robots?
Yeah, you can now. That was the most recent DLC.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that seems something that's useful. And I remember getting attacked by robots all the time. There were these evil slugs.
Yeah.
These, like, mantis.
So in the most
things.
recent DLC, they added a shit ton more, and now you can make your own robots and control them. And then you can... So the way the universe of RimWorld works, unless you're playing with a bunch of mods, the only race is historically humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a bunch of races in quotation marks because they're all the same race genetically engineered. So now you can do that. And that they all got added. So they added like 20 races or some shit. And then a full custom race system where you give them effects and stuff. And it's what makes a lot of their DLCs really useful is they all have heavy mod support, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, they even give access to modders beforehand. So it's just really, really nice. Like, I'm playing with Vanilla Expanded right now, which the lead dev of is also their artist. He does the art for all the DLCs. And it's his full-time job at this stage. He gets them all early, and the content in them is just, like, so much stuff. Oh, and there's kids now.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Which is really funny, because if you like browse, like, the RimWorld Discord or RimWorld Reddit, it's all just horrific war crimes. And now that there's children, it seems it's gone two directions. The people that are able to still stomach it have just gotten even crazier with their war crimes. But then there's, like, this new group of people that, like, are always sad.
Because of that stuff happening?
Yeah, because, like, this game, normally I don't care about my colonists, like, all that much, but, like, it was really... One of my colonists had a kid, like, in-game, like, a year ago. though he ages faster because of obvious reasons. So he's like 4 years old now. And he almost died. He almost died to the flu. I did everything. I pulled out all the stops. I used my psionic healer, my priest to pray at his bedside.
Oh wow.
I had him on like full watch.
Yeah, that's a lot more than I remember. Before it was you had herbal medicine and real medicine. And just gave it to him. You're good.
Yeah, well, I have a psionic that can heal, and then your priest can heal, and then like it's not a physical healing; it's like a buff to their immunization. And I only have herbal medicine because I used all my glitter world medicine and my other medicine because it was a massive outbreak and it got severe really quick. But yeah, and then the multiple colonies is really cool, and especially if you use the mods. Like if you want to play larger scale, there's multiple mods. Like Vanilla Expanded lets you send colonists, and this is what I'm using in this playthrough, to like tiles where they could set up bases.
Mhm.
Oh shit! The entirety. Okay, that's not good.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do it, because there were certain maps where I just didn't have or a lot of a resource or ran out. So I send a caravan somewhere, and when they stop in the wilds, then you can interact with things. And I was like, all right,
yeah. So you can
you
can also set up to 5 colonies.
Oh, there you
so
go.
I have 2 running right now. Yeah, and you can travel between them, interact between them. There's even multiplayer if you use the right mod. Though I haven't got a good session going with someone, but using that, you could hypothetically do multiple colonies and like progress side by side, which I think would be fun.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty badass.
Yeah, the game itself though just has so much shit in it, and so many. Like the modding community for this game is probably the best I've seen in a long while. Like it's like old Elder Scrolls.
I mean, it helps that the actual devs themselves are really into it, or creating everything with modding in mind.
Yeah, it's got full mod support, and the best mod devs generally get hired part-time for the DLCs, which is so cool.
I was mentioning this earlier in one of the immersion channels. The last time I modded legitimately was I think it was like Hearts of Iron 4.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like Iron 4.
Those aren't. When it released, it needed a lot of help.
Yeah, these days I think it's doing pretty good, but
I haven't tried it in a hot minute. But I remember what I did there was I did a whole slew of balancing and AI changes, and I know that as Paradox would release patches for it, sometimes I'd go to compare the pages, and they would just be like, "Nope, this is the same exact page." I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and there's a lot of it's just really cool how the game's turned out if you use mods, especially because I think that's part of the game. Like some people only play this game vanilla and get thousands of hours of time.
Yeah.
I like having unique content when I play. So I get a lot of time, but I mix up my playthroughs a lot. Like I've played a playthrough where I was purely medieval and I had wizards and shit. And because of the psionics and other integrations that people have done, there was like actual spells with effects and shit. And it's like it's just been with mana bars like separated.
God damn.
Yeah,
can you go full medieval?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
There's actually they're probably not updated right now because I think only Oscar, who's the guy that does Vanilla Expanded, got early access, but I'm sure if I search it. Yep, here it is, Medieval Madness or Medieval Overhaul. Yeah, it's not updated to 1.4 yet, but it reworks everything so you're limited to pre-industrial. Completely shifts the tech tree.
Hold on, sorry. Smoke is trying to kill this guy. Smear does nothing, man, in this game. They've really busted it. Yeah, maybe in the future, if I haven't been in a city builder mood too much, which is weird considering you don't really do that in Dominions.
Yeah, you don't do that. You don't do that at all in Dominions.
You don't do what?
You don't build cities at all in Dominions. You burn them down.
Exactly. You just build these forts, which are just,
shit, dude. To be fair, in the current day and age, you could technically do that in RimWorld because you're able to raid other people. Mm-hmm. They're not actual other people, but you can raid faction bases.
Oh, you
I've
used
seen
to be a
people.
better
I've done
one.
that before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you-
I've done it before where I played a playthrough where I was a nomad. So of course, you could travel around and shit and set up camp everywhere. And
Oh,
I
you
was
didn't
just
have
raiding
you
people for
didn't have
shit.
like a full base to tech up.
I didn't have a full base. No. I'd stop. I boosted the research speed through the storyteller to, of course, make it a bit more research, a bit more manageable. But I'd stop and I'd just place a research bench for like the night.
Okay.
I started at a bit higher research too to make it a bit more. But I looted most of my shit anyway.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
Right now, I'm trying to make as like an actual empire. So I've got two colonies right now. My capital one, where I had an animal infestation. I started breeding, and so now you have to keep your animals in pens and stuff, so they can't just roam the map and stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, you used
For
to have to
most
do that
animals.
too. I used to
No,
do that with Boomalopes.
no. You could give them areas previously where they are stuck, and this you have to fence them in and stuff.
Oh, I would fence them in regardless. I don't
Yeah,
know if I did it because I had to, or just because that's what you should do.
but no. So you have to fence them in and stuff, but because the way food calculations work with nutrition, they're a pain to feed, and they get filthy. And I have a mod on that makes it where stuff requires water. So I was also having dehydration issues. So I got to the point where I sold and slaughtered most of my animals because I had like 80 horses and 50 yaks. But I got a new solution. I have a second settlement, which I have a teleporter to,
Okay, that's new.
called a skip store. And that's a modded thing.
Okay,
It was expensive as shit, yeah.
that's fair enough. And you
And
you don't need to cross the map to get there or anything.
I do to move supplies, but I can move colonists freely. So what I do is I literally just came out here with a good chunk of my animals, and I built up a stock here, and that's where I'm doing my farming and stuff. And every once in a while, I'll send a huge caravan to all the cities nearby to sell off extra animals, and then up to my capital with extra food and animals.
Oh yeah,
It's working well.
little farming village.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just been a very fun game. Mildly straight.
Well, apparently I've got 3 DLCs. What are they, $15, $20 each?
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah, that's a pretty penny. And I just spent a chunk of money a few days ago to pre-order the new God of War, and It Takes Two, because that seems like a fun co-op game.
Oh. Yeah, I haven't tried the new God of War or It Takes Two.
Yeah,
I haven't even heard of it.
New God of War comes out. Shoot, just glanced. It comes out the 9th, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and then It Takes Two for the Switch comes out on the 4th.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah, they should have that one for like every other console. I just don't have. The only console I have 2 controllers on is the Switch. So
It Takes Two.
yeah, it looks like a fun little co-op game to play with someone.
Oh, this looks cool. Maybe me and HP could play it. We were looking for a puzzle game to play together.
There you go. Well, if you're both on PC, there should be a good bunch. I think,
Yeah.
We Were Here Together is another like highly.
We're just shitty about buying shit. Neither of us like spending money. Except, well, okay, that's not true. I'll splurge on DLCs for games I like because I think I'll get worth out of them. Yeah, Remote DLC is expensive. You'd only probably need one of them if you're trying to get back into the game, and that's Ideology.
Okay.
And then Biotech's really good, but like
That's
a
the
good
one we're
half
on
of
now.
the stuff. Yeah, a good half the stuff they added with the Biotech DLC got added to the base game, but the robot making isn't it. Though there is a couple mods that add that too.
Okay.
There's vanilla expanded mechanoids, which is already compatible with base game, and they're probably going to update it with a bunch of new shit, which adds full-on automation and robots. Yeah, like huge quantities. And then there's also androids, which adds like robotic colonists, rather than like anthropomorphic ones. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so like a cleaning robot instead of like the human-looking robot.
Yeah, and then there's Rim Factory, which doesn't add many robots, but it adds a bunch of automation stuff, which fits well with robots.
Okay.
So yeah, none of those three need any of the DLC. Though I believe they all get content from the DLC.
Okay. I mean, yeah. If anything, if I go to do it,
Yeah, so just
I'll get
if you're gonna if you already
ideologies.
have the game,
Yeah,
if you already have the game, your best pet's probably just playing it without any. Play it with some mods, see if you're actually enjoying the loop, and then deciding about DLC.
Oh, I know.
It's
I
always
like that loop. I've done it before. I just haven't.
Zan. Sometimes just gotta respect the Dark Wolf way.
Never heard of it.
That's because you locked us under the Sea of Ice before it happened. Never forget.
Well, yeah. You guys were planning something dirty. I didn't want to deal with it.
We weren't planning something dirty. We were partway through the process.
I just kind of looked at your roster. I looked at your bless, and I said, "There's no astral magic from top to bottom in there, and I doubt they have the income." So
we actually had astral magic, and we searched for astral. We just couldn't find any.
yeah, you had S1 or S2 mages, I remember,
Yeah.
but not
Yeah, that's
enough
true.
that you'd be able to get like a big enough dispel caster.
Yeah, that was bad.
And then by the time I did some like head math, and I was like, okay, if they start site searching at this level and they get one, I did some head math on it. It was very, very calculated.
We alchemized and we purchased, but everyone was like, we don't want them getting out anyway. We know how much Zan put in. Let's just sell them a little bit. We're like buying at a 1-to-3 ratio.
Holy shoot!
It was
I mean,
bad.
you had no other choice.
Yeah, and we made mistakes though. It was our fault. I'll still blame you though, because you lost to Lucid. The whole game, we're like, Lucid's the big threat. He wins. I consider that a win for me, because I was right.
Lucid's always the big threat. Especially Lucid and Sakane. Come on.
Yeah. Sakane disappeared, didn't he?
Yeah, he's gone. I don't know where.
Yeah, so is Perun. Perun's not actually gone, but he's ditched Dominions for games that make him money.
Yeah, I'll do that in a heartbeat. I'll just
start talking about Ukraine.
Huh?
No. See what happened with Perun. Here's the thing. He switched up on us, dude. Suddenly he's wealthy, and he could afford other games besides Dominions. Starts playing the really fun space game that I'm not very good at, so I don't play it as much as Rimworld. That game is very fun. Terra Invicta.
I'm purposely avoiding it just because I don't want to keep buying games right now. I don't have the
That's
time.
a very good decision.
Yeah, like I've got games already that I enjoy playing. I just don't have time to actually play them. Oh shit.
You know, if you take Adderall, you could stay up all night.
Well, on top of that, I keep doing life decisions that make me lose my routine, like moving out or buying a house, all that fun stuff. And I keep ruining my gym routine. And part of that routine means I need to sleep early. And gaming does not go well with trying to sleep early.
Dude, it is about to be 2 a.m.
Well, for you, it's 8:50 for me.
Yeah.
Where the heck are you? You're
probably
European?
Well, no, I'm American, but I'm going to college in the UK.
Oh. That's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's been pretty cool. Pretty cool experience. Interesting, unique. Two words I'd use right now.
Oh.
It's just a bit rough being far from everyone, you know what I mean?
Yep, I was, I think, an hour away from everyone I knew, and that was different. You are a sea away, time zones away.
Yeah. And, like, all of the other places I could have gone to college, I could have, like, visited my family on a weekend. You know, because in the US, it's really easy.
But I think it's a good decision to do that early and just get it out of the way, because now you can say you did it. You don't regret it later.
Yeah, that's exactly why I wanted to do it because I wanted to say I did it.
Mhm.
It's a mixture of wanting to say I did it, just have that experience, and it's been a really cool experience and an enjoyable experience. So I don't regret it at all. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I could also drink legally, which is definitely a positive.
Do that here.
No,
Shit.
I'm 18.
Well, damn. Thought you were older. Yep.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I assume most people that play Dominions are old fogies.
Well,
or
they
mid to
are.
late
They
20s.
are. I am the youngest person on immersion.
Oh, there you go.
Cumin is second youngest. He's like a half year older than me. But then above him, everyone's in their 20s. It's funny as shit.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you
Everyone that
pronounce
plays
How are you supposed to pronounce his name?
Cumin?
Human?
Cumin. Like, you know cumin, the spice? That's how I think of it.
Oh, I thought like the guy Txoumin, right?
Oh, no. That's not. No, I'm talking about cumin, air elemental guy.
Oh, Q.
That's
Yes,
Tuxeman.
the plays relay and loses to Ermor guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
The guy
that's
that
how I know
looped
him.
the coalition and Bosmos. And he'd move his oh, you gotta hear this. Cumin is a character, okay?
Oh boy.
I've played a disciple game. You know Sauron, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was in a disciple game, me, HP, Sauron, Johnny, and Z4. And Z4 subbed out like turn 12 and Cumin took over as Femoria. Dude, he lost a fight and we're like, yeah, so do you see why you lost there with your scripting? Sauron. And Cumin's like, why would I look? And we're like, what? He's like, why would I look at the fight? I lost. I only look at battles I win.
That's that's one way to do it.
Or like the game where so you remember Bosmod where Lucid was playing Ulm.
Mhm.
Do you know that game?
Yeah. I
Okay,
didn't
so you know how
participate,
we I didn't either.
I
You
wish
know
I
how,
did.
do you remember did you watch the YouTube series? Or like skim it like I do?
It's on my to-do list.
Just say no. It's okay.
I
I'll
have
be
it.
honest, the only YouTube series Lucid posts that I like watch fully, and I don't even watch it fully, I watch it at 2 times speed with constant skipping, is the tourney. That one's worth it. Besides that, it's a lot of the same shit. Anyway, so he's like, "Oh, I'm scared of this Kalem. He keeps killing people." I looked at Human's turn at that time, and all of his birds were on his cap. And we're in a VC, and we're like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm organizing my birds." What he does is he raids out and takes a bunch of provinces, and then moves all his shit back to his cap.
I mean, I used to do that in I think Medieval 2 because replenishment was stupid in that one.
No, that's the human way.
I see.
No, Tuxman is Tuxman, but I normally just call him French dude or Frenchy or whatever. Doesn't really matter.
Fair enough.
I want to go. I want to go to France next week. So.
Well, isn't there like a tunnel you can use? Nope.
Yeah. That's specifically why I want to go to France next week.
There you go.
I was gonna. My plan originally was to stay with Poulter because he actually has an extra bedroom.
Uh-huh.
And he lives in this beautiful town, but he's like, I'm working. I'm like, what? Cancel. And he's like, no. So I was like, can I stay with you, Tuxman? Or at least meet you, right? I was gonna meet him in Isitaris in Paris. Is what looks like the plan. But Tuxman's like, yeah, I'll ask my mom if you could stay with us. I'm like, oh no. So I'm gonna see. I don't want to live somewhere random, and it's also nice having people there that actually speak French because I don't speak a lick of French.
There you go. Use your phone.
So I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do. This is gonna be a mission. We're gonna figure out what's going on in France.
There you go. Yeah, that's pretty
For
cool.
all I know, I'm gonna get kidnapped because I chose to learn Spanish instead of French in school.
Think you go to Spain? They don't drink water there. The water's more expensive than beer. Yep.
You know what's weird?
Mhm.
They charge for water here. I'm
They
so
charge for
used to
water
water
there.
being free. I know, it's just a Europe thing.
Yeah. Hey, I like that they include the taxes into the price, the listed price. That's convenient.
Oh,
I don't have to
yeah,
pay
that is convenient. The food here is actually very cheap right now. because they are price capping everything. But the second they stop, their economy is going to crash. British economy's in the shit right now. My economics teacher. Well, he's not really my economics teacher anymore. He's like one of the best economics teachers in the country, apparently.
There you go.
But dude, that man's like, yeah, you know, the British government are stupid. And he was talking about how the economy was about to crash, and he convinced me.
I mean,
And he blames it all. He blames it all on COVID and Brexit.
I
He's
mean,
like, these
I feel
two
like
things,
most countries are like
combination.
that right now.
Apparently the British one's extra bad, like China levels. Not like, because the Europe's got a bad economic situation. You could argue the US does too. But like, they're like normal bad economic situations. According to him, and like, I am inclined to believe him because he's an economics professor that ditched teaching our class because they needed an economics teacher in London itself to teach. What is that?
To teach the government how to economics.
No, he's teaching the highest level economics class in London. It's like level 9 or something. It's like for the really fancy economics postgrad students. Like full professor shit. He's like, so I'm inclined to believe him partially, and he like provided evidence. He's like, so what's going to happen here
Is that your source?
is, yeah, well, no, he was talking about labor, because what he explained, it was very common sense the way he explained it. He's a really good teacher. But it's because we were talking about factors of production, labor, land, and capital, and how the UK lost all three of them very quickly and hasn't felt the effects yet. Because the UK has a very limited population, and with them leaving the EU, people couldn't immigrate here to work anymore. And then with that happening, and then with COVID, a lot of people, like, there was a little bit of a recession, so a lot of capital went away.
Mm-hmm.
And then a bunch of other shit happened because of just the economic situation here. And because of that, he's like, it's not looking good. And so, yeah, that's the situation.
That's most places. It happens.
No, sorry, I'm looking at a quest I got.
Right.
I can either get an infinite chem reactor,
Or
and a skill trainer, and a reinforced barrel, and a predator stomach,
or whatnot.
or a plasma scattergun, or an architect leg. It's like I got a quest, and I have 3 choices of loot, and the one worth the most is a single shotgun of very high quality. They're all like $4,000, and then the other 2 are like stuff you can install into your colonist, like a stomach or a mechanical leg. So I think I'm gonna take the cool gun, and we're gonna launch an operation.
There you go.
Where is it?
Shoot, that wasn't streaming. I gotta go watch your stream.
Oh, you want me to stream? Or...
Oh, I can't. I got to do my stream.
Oh, you can watch my stream with your stream.
I want to try to.
I know you're streaming. No, keep your stream going. I'm messing with you.
Yeah, I have a dream. One day I'll hit 1,000 subs, and I'll be able to monetize the channel. And then once I actually get money from this channel, then something ideally in my head will click about the time.
Do you want me to make a bunch of? I have like 2 YouTube alts, or 4. I could do at least that. Like ones I actually have.
I don't know. I'm
We're
just
sending a
hoping-
caravan.
Like right now, this is kind of like my guilty hobby, I guess, because I don't really
I don't know
much
if you
out
could
of
call it.
streaming.
I don't know how you could call a hobby a guilty hobby,
Like
because it's a hobby. Like,
making the
hobbies
videos
aren't supposed
is
to
fun, but
help your life.
I want a side gig. That'd be cool.
Well, okay, then it's not a guilty hobby. It's a hobby, and you don't want a hobby. You want to make more money.
Yeah, I would like more money. Money's good.
I agree.
Yeah, like
I'm
recording
glad
the
we
videos
can come
is
together on
fun.
this.
Yeah, like making the videos is fun. It's hard for me to
And
watch
just
Dominion videos, honestly. I do
it's
those-
because usually,
you have to have
it's
them on,
because
like,
I'm gonna be
2x.
honest. You gotta have them at 2x while you
Have
do something else. Like somehow Perun's videos where he uses a literal slideshow are less dry half the time.
Oh no, well I watched most of Perun's videos. His things were like very well done.
They're still. I'm gonna be honest with you. he knows his shit, and that's why I'll listen to him in the background. But he still uses Google Slides. In fact, he probably uses PowerPoint.
Some of the smartest people are like that.
I know. I do watch this channel that does historical conflicts. They animate their shit. It's so good. It's so good.
Oh, now
Top-down perspective.
Wait, his
So-
historical channel, the one that has all the the videos from Ukraine now?
No. I'm saying I know this other YouTuber where for historical fights, because they get accurate reports, they animate it all. And they're shorter, of course. They're not an hour-long analysis. They're like 15 minutes, but they're so good. Like, I was looking at Iwo Jima, showing the positions everyone got shot and shit. It's just really well done. But no, Perrin's content's good.
Yeah.
He knows his shit. I think that's really what matters in that realm of content, is you know your shit.
Yeah. Honestly,
And
I'm
his
not
voice
fun.
is really good.
That's what I hear about me.
Really?
I don't hear it, but I'm not watching the videos.
Yeah, now
so-
you have a good voice too, but no offense, it stands nothing to Perrin's.
Yeah, no. Maybe I could take speak classes. Maybe I could sit up straight. I don't know.
I don't know. I just think some people get lucky with their voice, man. I'll be straight with you.
Well, there's a lot you can do with speech therapy, I think is what you call it.
Really? I don't even know what a preferable voice is. I guess smooth is like what you look for,
Yeah.
with
Something,
like a consistent timbre.
yeah, I think that's what it is. Not a lot of up and downs, because that'll... I don't know. I have no idea
Oh,
what I'm
who the fuck knows, dude? Welcome to Dark Wolf and Zen on the mechanics of speech.
There you go. Yeah.
Today we're going to be talking about speech.
But I definitely like the more of the videos where I explain shit that's going on, just because everywhere I go, I feel like people tell me that I'm doing shit so differently from what's the norm. And it's kind of like, okay,
Playing Dominions?
yeah, especially with Dominions.
Dude, I fought you. You play like any other good player. Shit on.
Mm.
There's nothing there that I was like, shit. I've
mean,
never
other than
seen
Sea of
anything
Ice.
like this. Dude, Sea of Ice? Okay, that's fair. But I've never played a Water Nation before, so I haven't had to think about it.
Yeah, well, and then everyone else is always like, oh yeah, Sea of Ice, that's a meme. No one uses that.
Yeah, so I guess that's fair. You're right.
And I'm just like, well, no, it fits.
Real men, Sea of Ice.
Oh, who put that there? Oh no.
Who knows?
Don't shoot me, don't shoot me. And I'm done. Whoops. Sorry, that was pretty tense.
No, don't worry about it. Sure, playing games.
I'm trying to drop my shield, or drop my spear, drop my shield while I'm getting people
Dude, what
throwing
are
shit
they-
at me.
I'm just attacking this abandoned factory taken over by cannibals. Alright, we succeeded.
Oh, man. But yeah, fair enough.
One
I mean,
guy was-
I think I've gotten more. I think I've gotten more traditional with the shit I do. I've come a long way from just spamming bloodletting on myself to kill the enemy.
Dude, I didn't realize that was you until Lucid was talking about the new. That was my first time I actually enjoyed a YouTube video or
Oh.
YouTube series of Dominions.
No, New Castings 1 is amazing.
Yeah, like, dude, I don't know what is this place? Shit, sorry, I gotta pause my game
Yeah.
while I read all these things. But New Casting 1 was just so good.
And I think the Dominions devs, they posted on Lucid's wishlist video. I don't know if you saw that. That they're
No, I
watching
didn't.
they're watching New Castings 2. They're enjoying it. It's like, no, dude, you need to watch New Castings. Well, I mean, New Castings 2 is pretty good fucking.
Okay, well, okay. You know what they should watch? They should watch the finals. That would be an experience for them, I'd bet.
They'll learn all the meta shit we've come up with.
We would ruin the game for them, dude. The shit that Sai has done in that game and Arco has done in that game.
I really want to. I haven't watched the final. I think I'm on turn 40 or 50.
Oh, you haven't even hit the high note. Oh, I see that. Oh yeah, I see that comment. 4,000 posts on the. I like Christopher is so passive aggressive about the Dominions community. Have you noticed that?
I haven't. Where does he mostly post on the Steam?
He doesn't. He doesn't.
Oh.
But like even that one post, that's my background information. I can't get to know him personally. Is like so like these people are so annoying, which is 100% true. Can you imagine? Like, gotta keep in mind his form is like composed of Marilande, Althea, and then a bunch of people that don't play anymore, isn't it? And Logi.
I don't know if they officially added Logi. They really should.
I'm pretty sure Logi's official. It'd be funny if he wasn't though.
I thought he wasn't, and we were pitching to like Maryland or Marilande to tell them like you need Logi on your team.
Yeah, he's the only one that makes sense because like
You know shit.
I don't. Althea apparently doesn't play anymore. Allegedly, this is heresy. I don't look at Nexus.
I don't look there either. I'm afraid of that server. You join the games there. You join the games there, and like half the lobby quits or goes AI by turn 20. And apparently they're big sticklers for the rules and ban people easily or something like that. So I'd rather just not go.
It's funny.
Kosk
got banned because he complained about a ban.
Most of the
and Fenrir
fine. I think Soren's the only one I haven't talked to, and then my first interaction with him was the other day, and he called me a rat. I was like, that's not very nice.
Soren calls everyone a rat.
I didn't know that. That was my first interaction with him.
That's your fault. You should talk to Soren more. He's a professional Zabulba player. He's the best MA Zabulba player. He's like, you know how Rob plays Jomid?
Yeah.
Yeah, Soren plays MA Zabulba. It's funny.
I wish I had like knowledge of a nation like that. I've tried. I don't have.
I do too. I can't get into a nation that much. Like I like playing new nations too much.
I know I'm obsessed with Abyssia because whenever I don't have an Abyssia game going, I always want to start one.
Which one?
Any.
Any
more less early age, just because I personally don't like early age as much. Early age,
I don't like early age either.
To me, I know the big gems are a fan favorite, and that's fine. Like you should give big gems to all your age games, right? But
yeah.
I don't like that because gold is so small. There's so few forts. There's so few units. You cheese one army and you've just completely eliminated a player. Like they can't come back from it.
That's not how I'd word it. Because that's ultimately like my issue with it is the lack of gold, and the nations lead to a very sacred based meta, which I just find uninteresting.
Well, I find that uninteresting by default, due to the you supercharge your sacred so much that mundane infantry in like almost all of them may as well not even exist.
Yeah, and because of the nations there, it's just it encourages very fast play. But yeah, that's why I don't like EA2. But that's it. So, what's your favorite Zed or Abyssia? I've been wanting to get into them because I've been playing All Stars games with Warlocks a lot. Do you like MA or LA? Especially because you're an LA Mari player, in my mind.
So LA ends up to me being more of a guilty pleasure, I guess. Because
really?
I'm used to playing the middle-aged Abyssia, where you have to, walk 3 miles to get to school through the snow and up and down the hill in order to get anything done. Late age is just like, do you want blood from every fort? Do you want really cheap resources or researchers? Your infantry's still acceptable. Not like that it ever mattered, right? But
yeah,
do you just want everything given to you? Whereas middle age is not. That's not the case.
Middle-aged Abyssia, I don't know. I think middle-aged Abyssia is underrated. Warlocks are such a good mage.
But you get them in late age too.
Like they're the best cap only in the game. Yeah, that's true. Shaitan.
Without thinking of it, I'll go ahead and agree with you. You can pull some real bullshit with middle-aged Warlocks.
Yeah, Warlocks. Because I have them in an All-Stars game, and I'm using like 6 to Blood Hunt, and they like can literally hold your blood economy, and then they can also cast the 2 strongest blood spells.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
and they can magic phase and gateway and
Yeah, they're just really good. Like, high blood, high S is such a good combo.
Mm-hmm.
And then it can make S booster. Like, who needs all this?
They have Astral Earth, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the people that are always like, oh yeah, Middle Age Abyssea blood is cap only, that's terrible. It's like, have you seen the bullshit a Warlock can do?
It's 2 CP. If they were 4 CP, I'd agree.
Yeah, but no, they're 2
But they're 2 CP.
It's
But
wild.
they're 2 CP, and they can cast Send Lesser Horror and Disease Demon. That's all you need.
Now again, they can do that in the late age. So last year's tournament, that's what ended up happening. Is I had the choice of fighting Art. Whatever happened, I ended up attacking. What's this guy's name? Januhito. To which Lucid said. To which Lucid said, "Yeah, you got screwed over. No one ever wins their first war against them," which is true.
I don't even. Wait, Gahito?
Januhito.
Oh, I know that dude. Yeah, that dude's pretty good.
Yeah, Lucid says he's terrified of him.
He's just a good player.
But regardless, we fought to a standstill, and then I got vultured by just about everybody. And then I channeled my inner Grippa, and even Arco said, like, I'm not gonna attack you, but I'll tell you what, I'll give you an infinite supply of blood slaves if you want to send Lesser Horror on all of your enemies. Oh, that was so fun. I channeled my inner Grippa, but then also had my entire cap circle, because whoever walked in, it just wasn't. It was assassins everywhere, fiends, the darkness ones.
Yeah.
Lesser Horror.
It's so strong.
Fun. That's why it's like late age is a guilty pleasure because everything's just given to you.
Everything's just good.
Like,
I should do a late age Abyssea game.
You don't have crossbows. Whatever. It's late age. Go, do your regular expansion and build
crossbows. Crossbows aren't even that good. They're like good, but they're not.
The last.
I don't think they're nice for defining unless you're shit against them.
The last time I did play late age Abbey, I took Air Shield as plus.
Okay, that's a bit much for me. I'd still take Bark Skin.
No, don't worry about it.
Or like Strength.
I looked at my first war. It was Ulm. I saw him making hundreds of Rangers, and I just walked straight into his capital. It's like, what are you gonna do about it? Yeah, I have Air Shield plate. The Sacreds have they have the plate armor, the tower shields.
Yeah.
So it's like
I can see that working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good. I think he won one battle because he just, the thing people do where they just take all 30 of their mages by that point in time and just send them out.
You do that when you got to that.
So he did 150 blood slaves worth of leech.
I feel like I do normally when I do that I use amps.
Well, if you have low research, sure, but
yeah,
I'd rather use leech than imps. Leech is going to delete
That's
square.
fair.
And
That's fair,
it doesn't fatigue you. I mean, it does a little bit, but you lifesteal.
Very true.
It was terrifying. He only did it once, obviously. 150 blood slaves is 150 blood slaves.
Yeah. But that's still like strong for sure.
Well done. Trying to focus.
Yeah, I'm trying to focus too. Trying to make sure my colony doesn't starve right now because I realized I ran out of food.
Not the best
to,
duelist.
Just do what I do and use a two-handed or a glaive.
Well, my issue is back when I did this a lot in high school and I got really fucking good. I was a hoplite player, and hoplites in the first one, they only had one attack direction.
Spears were the best in that one.
They only had one attack direction, so if I wanted to hit you, I had to come up with all of these little, like, jump stab, spin, drag my pike around tricks.
Mm-hmm.
None of those work anymore.
I remember.
So I spent all of my game time learning these shitty tricks to hit people, and I can't do them anymore.
Warband had such a weird melee meta because the meta was to not wear any armor. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Go quick.
Oh, dude, you'd not wear any armor and you'd grab the biggest weapon or a spear or some shit, and you just. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, you have the S-Key Glaive Heroes.
Now, though, it's a bit. I don't know. I like the game mode where you get a bunch of troops sometimes. It just feels cool. Have you tried that one a little bit?
Which one? Which one?
The game mode where you get a bunch of troops to command
No, no, the captain mode.
in multiplayer? Yeah.
So before, so I reinstalled this to play this mod and on its release and stuff. But before this, I had a pretty old gaming laptop, and that was my main rig, and it couldn't handle the large scale battles.
Yeah. I have a pretty old gaming laptop that can on low graphics.
There you go. No, now I'm spoiled. I think the first time I had this on like just maxed out everything except shadows.
Oh my god, I can't. No, there's no way I could do that.
But then release day, 2 days ago I think it was, there were
Mhm.
400 people on the server, and my laptop was just like, nope, I'm not having it.
So what is this? So join our servers. Oh, you make a character and you build them out. And you get XP and gold the more you play. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, the CRPG? Yeah, it's a persistent
Mhm.
character.
Oh,
Rather
it
than
up to
just like
50 gigabytes.
yeah, rather than just kind of like almost League of Legends style where each match is its own thing, and
Yeah,
after hours of
I know what you
gameplay, you
mean,
have nothing
yeah.
to show for it.
that's cool. At least you get something.
Yeah,
That
so-
is something with Bannerlord and Warband too. You just like don't get anything.
Yeah, so that's why I played this mod so much with my buds. They're just all offline. I think one's fixing an iPhone and the other.
Just fixing an iPhone.
Yeah, I told them they're not designed to get fixed by us non-Apple workers.
That's not to be fixed by anyone. They're designed for you to go buy a new. A
Yep.
large industrial vat for making the ever. I don't think I need this. Can I? Should I just do? I'm gonna go sell this. We're sending out a caravan. We're going to sell this loot I got. Form caravan. Let's go to this place. Jensen, you're like my caravan. Just take all the axe. Carry all your loot. Then we're gonna take
Damn it.
Hopper, Hopper, Nutrient, Nutrient.
I think I'm getting fairly decent at one-handed at least.
Two-handed's the way to go. It's just painful.
I've never had faith in my blocking skills. I think I've gotten better at it, but
The real trick is to avoid being in situations where you have to block.
100%. Some of the best players, when I watch them play, I don't see them block. They just maneuver about in such a way that they're just constantly swinging.
You just gotta constantly backstep. I don't know, I haven't played Bannerlord in a while. For medieval fighting, I started playing Chivalry.
Mhm.
And that Chivalry 2 on my Xbox. And that did it for me. Though I can't right now because I didn't bring my shit with me to my college.
I really enjoyed
Too much.
their like game modes, I guess. It wasn't just like
Yeah.
that, just like push the ram. Okay,
Yeah.
you broke this. Get on the catapult. Do shit. But I didn't like the combat. I was spoiled for more.
That's
of it.
fair. That's more important, really.
That's what I'm here for. That's why I watch these people use crossbows, and I'm just kind of like, why? Go play COD.
Nobody knows.
Like, why do you do this? Like, the furthest I'll do with range, I'll throw an axe at someone. I'll miss all 3 throws, but
The point is, you tried.
so what is your Dominion's nation of choice then? If mine is one of the abbeys, you got Joman for Ravsia.
That's a hard one. I can tell you what it's been in the past.
hmm
I don't have one right now. Oh, okay. Actually, no, I do know what mine is. I know what my. It's funny. So EA is my least favorite age, but my 2 preferred nations are both in EA.
Mhm.
Like they're the nations I'll always play, and they're Theratos and Baratos.
Ooh, Theratos is so fun, but
Baratos is my favorite nation, but I play it less than Theratos because I also like winning.
yeah, they're like late age Marignon in the early age, and it's like you have a passable sacred.
No,
But
because
everything
LA
else is worse.
Marignon has a good troop.
Well, you got elephants. Those are good for a little bit.
They're not very good, especially not in EA.
Well, you have you can mass flight them,
Oh yeah, mass split.
or not mass flight them. Because you have...
Gift to flight.
It's been a
You
minute,
could
yeah,
gift to flight them.
that one. You
But
have recruitable
there's-
A2s.
They're still... Yeah, but your A2 is slow to recruit and you need to have a coast.
No.
Like, the issue is never your second war, it's your first war.
Yeah. Well, that's where elephants are usually the best at. Because everyone says, oh yeah, tramplers, easily handled. I watch.
No, you point buff them. You point buff them, they're good. The issue with Baratos isn't even... The nation itself isn't super vulnerable to rushes if you take a counter rush build. It's that all your shits... everyone attacks you.
Yeah, because you have that, they have that, like, conception that you're easy.
Yeah, well, it's the conception you're easy. It's also because HP was making a new tier list and we were talking about it. It's like they have Marignon, LA Zib, and Baratos have the same syndrome. But Baratos has it the worst, where nobody wants them to get to late game and they're weak early. So both of those together means that the nation is often rushed, even when you take a counter rush build or an awake to dissuade a rush.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And it's often multiple players, and the person rushing you doesn't get attacked by multiple people because nobody wants to fight a Baratos mid or late game. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I think that's definitely what defines. Is that a Terrorbird?
Terrorbird?
Yeah, I got a model that adds Terrorbirds.
That's fair enough. I tried them once. I think Baratos was the game that I learned to never trust cavalry attack rear, and I learned to love the idea of hitting things really hard with units before the little stat meta was popular.
Yeah, I don't know if stats are meta yet. I think it's still res, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because that game, I spawned next to an early Age Abyssia that had... They just pretended they were Mictlan and trashed every skill.
Yeah.
And at that time, I still didn't have any form of confidence in what I was doing, and I would message people. I'm like, hey, this is their bless with burning ones. How do I kill this? And most people were just telling me, you don't. And at one point, I think it was Ballin was like, summon water elementals. On land? Are you sure? So, and they completely trashed the burning ones. The water elementals, and then I think I had like +4 strength and +4 defense or something on the little...
Yeah, that's actually very
Colossi?
similar to the build I run today.
Yeah, and that actually also trashed the sacred ones, or the burning ones, because the little short swords, when used by a half giant with extra strength, will do damage.
Yeah, I don't know. My build's on the wiki, or one of my builds. Yeah, because I'm special. I play a lot of Baratos. I have so many builds for them. They're like a third of my builds. And then like a good quarter's Therados, and the rest are all the other nations. So my Therados gameplay, I don't actually, that's not true. I don't have that many Therados builds, because I've kind of got the perfect build for each situation, and that's about it. I'm done.
Okay.
I have what I am convinced is the best Therados build.
And it's not a Tolkien?
It's, okay, so if you are solo underwater, it isn't. If there's someone else underwater, it depends what nation they are and how good they are. If they're good, it's usually a Tolkien. If they're not good, it's the same build you take if you're solo.
Fair enough.
And that's Dormant, Berserker, Bloodbond, Chilora, Res.
Huh. And is that just so you don't have to cast Elemental Fortitude on your Melia?
No. It just makes your melee unkillable.
Well, the
anything
res
but
part, I
Emily
mean.
Gates. Oh,
Because if they
It's
have
major
N1,
res.
they can already resist everything.
yeah, it's 5. So what you do is if you combine it with the N1 Elemental Fortitude, you get to 15.
Mhm.
Which just makes it really hard for anything to kill it. So it's like doubling down.
Fair enough.
Because like Melia, they're slow kill. They're slow to kill shit. Generally, they're not an SC, so even when you use path to them, they don't kill stuff quickly. So the whole thing's about making them not die. If that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, the first game I ever
Yeah.
played Dominion was using Theranos.
I think mine was Raga, but Theranos is where I've played like 6 Theranos games and I've won 5, and one was a super big game which I lost.
Holy shit.
Something like that.
Um,
They're just so easy if they're solo involved. I will be fair, I pick and choose my Theranos games. Because playing Theranos with other underwaters, if the player is good, I just refuse. Or if the other underwater nations like good underwater, I refuse.
so you
Like,
win the game before you even join it.
Yeah, I just won't even pick the nation. I'll be straight. Like, I just don't feel like I've done it before. I've won one before. I killed an Atlantis. It wasn't fun. Do you know what I mean?
Well, can't you just
It's
follow
just like playing Theranos. Yeah, but they always take poison res and they just rush it water alleys. And the issue with Theranos is you don't have a good water alley spammer,
Yeah, that's true.
so you just die to them. Like you have to. The reason I don't like playing Theranos underwater all the time is you have to try hard the game because Theranos underwater. Theranos is a nation that I think scales with player skill really well because you always have to outplay your opponent in EA. But Theranos underwater, you doubly have to outplay your opponent because unlike on land where you can kind of know what they're gonna like, where there's that bit of equality because you're like, oh, you're fighting someone else on land, you pick and choose. Underwater, you're just getting rushed by water alleys.
Yep.
And or a titan or monster.
I'm glad more people are using guidance.
Yeah. I think dormant titans are common. Not common, but they're there. I see them a bit.
Yeah, they're. If I doubt you've watched, but if you've kept up anything with my Caleb
I have.
series-
I have watched.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, your Calum series. I thought you were going to say your Titan video. No, I have not watched your Calum series.
All right.
I think I
If
looked
you,
at one of the episodes.
if you watched the last Titan video on Defender Titans, all the scenes that you see with the Anunnaki of growth, those are live videos against.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, no, I watched that episode. Where
Okay.
your Titan killed a bunch of shit.
Yeah, that's the kind of shenanigans I think Dormant Titans can do to the unsuspecting.
No, I agree. I think Dormant Titans are very strong. I just think normally in Pretenders you want something else.
Mhm.
So if you take a Dormant Titan, you're giving up a lot. So there's
Yes.
very few nations that actually use them effectively. I think Calum is one of them. I subbed into a game where LA Calum, it was Johnny's game. He had a Dormant Titan, and I won that game, that I subbed into. And the Titan is so good.
It's because you need a nation that works without your Pretender screen.
Yeah, that's a good point. It needs to work without your Pretender screen, and also doesn't need to require full scales to work without your Pretender screen.
No, you can still take scales with a Titan.
Yeah, but
they're not like imprisoned dormant sacred blast or
Yeah.
whatever scales. But I think that Calum game I have order, production, and growth too. Magic too.
It's not bad. Oh yeah, because you don't take a bless at all on it.
No, you don't need one.
And you can dump gold.
Some Titans
Yeah,
you
it's
can
a
take
good
like
point.
regeneration on them, and that's really nasty depending
Yeah.
on your nation.
I
Sometimes
took
with less speed.
I take the Scrotty on Jotunheim, it's like a half Titan. I use it like a Titan. It's so good.
Yeah.
Research. I take it awake and research into a Titan. Actually, Jotunheim could probably take. Jotunheim's also up there in my most played nations, though I haven't done as much experimenting. Dude, have you seen? I know you're a mentor on Immersion, but do you check the mentee channels at all?
Not often because the advice I tend to give tends to be not popular amongst the other mentors.
No, you should give it anyway. That's everyone's advice. Do you know how many times Sai and Lola have argued in a mentee channel?
Well, that's what I
It's the
don't want
funniest
to. I
shit.
don't. It's the verbiage that some of the other mentors use that really take me away from things. Where they speak in what's the there's a word for this.
Condescending?
No, there's a word for this, and I can't remember right now because I'm tired. They speak in absolutes. They speak in the only way to do blood magic is doing imp contracts and Sendler so horror. Everything else is a waste of time. It's like no, there's use cases for.
Well, you think people have a variance in their decisions, and they think that there's nuance in life? That's your fault.
Well, yeah, I
You should
go in with
understand.
nuance,
Mentors are dumb.
and I'll say
That's your
in
fault. Mentors are
this
dumb.
situation, this is where this one thing is good, and then people come in and say, no, that's trash. Do this other thing instead. Do elementals. It's like that's not always the answer.
If it makes you feel better, that doesn't happen much anymore because most of the Menti channels are owned by mentors these days. Because we don't get very many new players.
There you go. Yeah, we use them like my Caleb
ever
channel.
Ever since mentioning of immersion, the word immersion got banned off Nexus. Our player quantity has dropped dramatically. The only way we get people is from Lucid server.
I used to picture you guys server all the time. I just haven't talked to you people in it.
Yeah, because they don't come to either of our servers because they're all in Nexus.
Yeah, and I don't go there.
Because it's called Dominion's Nexus, and one's called Immersion, and one's called Lucid server. It's not happening.
Yeah, pretty much. If you had to choose one, most people are going. I started on Nexus before it was.
I did too.
It was just called regular
I started
Dominions
on
or something
Nexus.
before.
It was just called Dominions, I thought.
I thought that was the official.
And then I started on Nexus. Yeah, I started on Nexus before Immersion was a thing. I was there when Immersion became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Lucids, I think, was always a thing, but I wasn't really a Lucid Tactics viewer, like, committed or anything.
Oh, I deadass joined Lucid server for 2 reasons, which was, 1, I wanted to fight Lucid because he was good, and I learned very well by getting my ass kicked. And 2, I found that on Lucid server is the best games I've played are on Lucid server because people tend not to quit as much there, and it tends to have the more consistent player base that are pretty high skill overall.
Want to be honest with you? You know what I've realized? That is not a Lucid server thing. It's just become this weird thing where the Dominions community is cut in 4 right now.
Oh.
Or cut in 5. It's so interesting. So, I'm going to go on a tangent because I've done I was going to write something about it, but HP told me not to.
Okay.
Or HP and Psy got me not to because they considered it too inflammatory.
Oh my. Well, here you have a platform to our 5 viewers, including Gripma, so 4.5.
Oh, Gripma? Shit, this shit. Alright, so what's happened is, because of the way the Dominions community is kind of splintered, and the splinter has gotten more and more severe. Kind of through Althea, but like also just through naturally. So there's the group of people on Nexus. So Nexus has the most players. But it's got this weird thing where a lot of the established players don't go there. Like I join games on there sometimes, but like Nexus and Clockwork are like their little thing, right? And a lot of like the Clockwork players will like jump around, but it's become less and less. Like you used to see Jackalore on Immersion all the time, or you used to see Pencils, whatever. You just don't anymore. And you used to see people that like the Immersion heads. Like I used to be on Nexus. I know HP did. Psy, I think, still there. Johnny used to be Nick Knight, but you don't see those people on Nexus
Someone
anymore.
did not like your comments. Oh, we have lost the viewer.
Oh shit. Dude, it's their fault. They should. I'm gonna get banned from Nexus. Joke's on them. I already have my ult in there.
I highly doubt anyone on Nexus is watching me play Bannerlord.
No, but they just gotta link it, and then they'll look at the clip, and I'm gone.
You'll be fine.
Anyway, so Nexus, Nexus is like in this weird place where it slowly bleeds the better players because the better players realize what you realized, which is the inconsistency in games there. It isn't anyone's fault. It just so happens because Nexus has the largest player base that's kind of uncurated. And then new players join there. So Nexus's skill, I'm hypothesizing, is actually trending downwards. Okay? That's my first hypothesis. They also, Nexus seems to have the most crazy vanilla games. As in, like, the Iridia games and shit, they all pop up on Netflix, or on Nexus.
On Netflix, yeah.
And from my experience, like, talking to Aaron, who just wins Iridia games like it's candy, because all he does is dip low and win.
Aaron?
Yeah. Do you know Aaron?
No. I don't know anybody.
Okay. Why do I know more people than you on the channel?
I don't know anybody, dude.
Yeah, so Aaron is Nick Knight's roommate, and they both play. Well, actually, Nick doesn't play Dominions anymore, but Aaron plays. Aaron is worse at the game than Nick Knight, but I'd argue he probably wins more of the games he plays because he is really good at diplomacy. He's won a game, and this is an actual. I've seen that. I've heard the story from him and Nick, so it's like apparently a proven story. He
Okay.
won a big game by buying all of the thrones as like position 6.
That's impressive.
Like he's just that kind of guy. So apparently, a lot of these big games on Nexus, it becomes this thing where if you attack a player and you win a fight, they just go AI.
Yeah.
And that's like the Nexus thing. So Nexus has very high player turnover. So then the players, they kind of go. It depends if they're into those crazy games. If they are, they often go to Reddit. Right? Reddit Dominions. Not gonna. I don't know it as well. I play it decently. Reddit Domain's like the DE server. I stand by it.
I've never stepped foot in there. I have it on my list. I like added it because I was making
I'm in it.
a mod and they linked me something over there.
Yeah, I'm in it. And don't talk there, but I'm in games there sometimes. Like, it's fine. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's just not my community. But the point is,
Uh-huh.
they're I'd say the player skill is on average better than Nexus,
Okay, that's good.
but it's also very one-sided. They all play very Diplo heavy and passive. Every game I've played there has been super, super passive.
I've gone
And,
through phases where New Castings 1, when I was Marignon, I tried to maintain a doctrine of always be at war, and I think it did
Yeah.
well for me. And
Yeah.
then as I joined the greater community, I became very passive. And now that I'm having more confidence in my own strategies or whatever, I'm back to my, if I'm not at war, why am I recruiting troops or doing anything? Like, I need to be fighting at all times.
Yeah. And I think that's ultimately the best way to play. You'll see a lot of the best players do. Or, like, it's not that you have to always be at war, but you always have to be taking advantages, running with them. So if you're not at war, you better be the fastest researcher.
Yep.
Or the biggest.
Yeah, so
But,
sometimes I'll do
so-
that where I'll skip my first war if I have a juicy expansion, just because I
Yeah.
don't want to get coalition.
Yeah. I normally don't, and then I get coalition, I'll be honest with you. It happens to me a lot. Or I get attacked turn 8. I don't know what it is about turn 8. I just keep getting attacked on it. It's ever since I attacked a Marignon on turn 8 and then killed them by turn 16 as Uruk. It just keeps happening to me.
Uruk's such a
But,
fun name, too. I really want to give him another shot.
I hate that nation.
What? Why?
Yeah, because I played an Uruk game, and I took a pretty good build in my opinion, and it was going well. And then I got into a Hell War with Stone Troll that lasted 40 turns.
Oh my god.
And
Stone Troll is going to be the MVP of my channel in a month or two.
that's because Stone Troll's really cool. He's a cool guy. He
Yeah.
plays really well. He can't Diplo to save his life, but he plays really well. Dude, the funniest shit is Gulliver. I talked to Stone Troll about it. And Lucid's like, and then Stone Troll is attacking me. And like, I talked to the people in the game, and they're like, Stone Troll's like, nah, dude, he had land. I clicked on it.
Fair enough.
And I'm like, were you killing his shit? He's like, no. And then like, I got it from Nick, who's Jotunheim. Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
You're in
I'm
that game.
Ulm in that game. So.
Yeah. I hate you. I subbed into Nick's turns. It's torture. Didn't
Uh-huh.
need another extension.
Oh, if the game goes on, I'm prepping the stupidest shit.
Dude, I am too. But that game's torture. I have no gems.
Yeah, but you're actually fighting. I'm just kind of sitting there doing nothing.
Dude, I'm fighting everybody I border. It's torture.
Because Nick Knight's a
I
monster.
stand by it. Anyway. And I subbed into a fascia position by some pit player that's super shit on Reddit. Or I think it was on Reddit. I don't know. I subbed for Sturm as a favor because he's really cool. But anyway, I subbed for him, and man was sitting on enough gems where I'm making a Soul Drain Golem.
We're
Yeah,
talking about
it's gonna be a Soul Drain Phoenix Fire Golem. It's gonna be fun.
that
But okay, so that's Reddit.
does not hold a candle to the monstrosity I'm going to unleash on you guys if I get.
You better use it. Yeah,
It
I'm
depends when the
excited
trend's
now.
going to end. I think I need another like 200 pearls. And that should
I'll
be a
send
hint
them to you.
already to the monstrosity that.
First couple S10.
Huh?
First couple S10. Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, you wish it was the first couple. It's better.
Oh god.
Oh man, it's gonna be so
Look
dumb.
at that.
It was Luce and I for there was a what's this other mod? Not the Hellenica.
Yeah.
There was a Hellenica build, and Lucid, Logi, and I figured out how to break the game. And we said it's technically possible if you have infinite resources in a normal game. It doesn't have to be the modded version. But you need nearly infinite resources.
Oh, but you could do it easily in Hellenica. Is it using Karanok?
No.
Okay. What nation does it use?
In Hellenic? Well, I can't tell you. You'll figure it out real quick. And I needed to surprise the fuck out of you and everyone else.
Okay.
It's gonna make a horror harmonica golem look like a child's toy.
Oh gosh. It uses you. I don't know. I don't know Hellenica well. I'm in a Hellenica game as Nabatem, but I don't know that well. I'm just killing people because they're bad.
Hellenica balance is just nothing's broken if everything is broken.
I approve of that balance, but I think the issue with Hellenica is currently nothing's broken if 5 or 6 nations are broken and the rest are kind of okay.
Yeah, some are more broken than others.
Yeah, and I think that's a problem. I don't think that balance system's bad. Anyway.
No, they just need a little nudging in the right direction. I think they'll be okay.
I think a lot of the nations need a little nudging. But I do think what they've gotten to the point that I think is like the top tier of nations are actually, I think, very well balanced with each other, and I think they're all very fun.
Yeah.
I just think there's a lot of nations that are really sad.
I have faith in Aiden on that. He's got this.
Yeah, I do too. He's a great modder. And he listens to people, and that's what matters.
I like him. He helped me out with my, or he gave me some advice when I was making my little Over the Sea mod.
No. I have rights to all of his sprites and his mod content, as with Red Rob and Sturm and Mormatil.
I need to actually message Red Rob, because I'm pretty sure I need to ask his permission before I copy and paste his heroes and make them amphibious.
Yeah, I got everyone's permission for any of my future modding products as long as I get them full credit. Just like, sure.
Yeah.
I'll ask them again whenever I work on a different mod, but it's just good to have.
Yeah, it's always being fair. Yeah, because I don't know if you've seen it. I don't really talk much about.
Yeah, you're making the water nations land nations, but you got to do a bunch of balancing shit because they have water stats, right?
Well, it's pretty much only Pelagia, honestly, because everyone else is just amphibious. But Pelagia, yeah, like if you look at a trident.
Is Yisk strong?
Well, actually, yeah, Yisk 2. Mandar told me of when he did it that you should really cap Yisk's Morark production to like 4. So I did that.
Oh, you made him limited rec?
Yeah, he highly recommended I make him limited rec 4.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, considering everything else the nation's gonna get by being a land, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah. And a fun game.
Yeah, and now maybe we'll actually see the rest of these nations in the game.
Yeah, I need to get people to use my damn Conjuration mod in a game. I can't host another one because Invite only took so long to start, so I'm scared of hosting another game. Also, I'm full on games. But I need to test this so I know if it's good, so I can work on my next Dark Wolf Balance mod. I'm gonna get this accepted in the public sphere. Just you wait.
I would like that. I was pretty excited. I'm in way too many games, and Tourney 13 is suffering so much because of it. Like people are watching these Calum turns right now, and they're like, "Oh my god, Zan's a genius, bro." After
they are.
That's what they tell me. I don't know.
All I know is Pan has 4 globals.
Well, that's current. That's current. In the upload timing, that's not really the case.
I know.
Around turn 40, 45, that's when it's 1 turn per week, and I just get kind of bored and start joining other games. And
I do that too. I'm in too many games right now, but they're all going so slow I don't feel it. So I'm like, let me join more. And I'm sure at some point they'll start and like they're going, and I'll be so sad.
Well, the problem is I have one game at turn 71, one game at turn 84, one at 63, another one at 54, and then.
Oh, you're in so many late games, and then invite only.
I don't die.
It took so long to start.
I don't die in games. I think I've been eliminated from a game twice ever. One was Lucid with his Lanka shit, and I didn't know what I was doing, and the other one was... I was a mod nation in one of those Nation Gen games, and they had the Sacred Crabs with plate armor, a trident, and the natural armor piercing attack. And I had I essentially had Makone against, plate armor crabs that just by default have like 30 protection and a
Yeah,
base armor piercing attack.
I've never done well in a nation gen game. I don't know what it is. Just have trouble grasping it. I've thought about it before. I guess because I feel lower effort because it's nation gen generally.
Yeah.
And I never feel like I'm happy with my nation, so I put lower effort and I don't do dip. I don't bother with dip flow, but for some reason people extra dip flow on those, and I always get 2 people in the first 4. It sucks.
Yeah. Don't know if I can join any more of those.
What happened to me in my last nation gen magic gen game? It just wasn't very fun. The magic gen side's cool, but like, if I play magic gen again, I'll probably do it with people I know. I think it'd be more fun. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like I really should focus on just getting good at like the normal game, because there's still stuff I want to do there. I'm kind of learning all the little side quests you have to do. But,
What are the side quests? I'm at some point I want to do the side quest of winning once with every nation that Sai's on, but that shit's painful. He's almost. I think he's almost done, or he's getting there.
I don't tend to win games. I just go for big cool fights.
I like watching cool fights, but I also like winning. It's a good mixture.
Yeah, that's why Stone Troll is going to be MVP on this channel, because I'm fighting him right now in as early HTNG, and I fought his Macone. And I'm not going to upload that series because I did nothing for 40 turns because Noble Expansion is stupid. But I pretty much walked up to him on turn 40, and I just walked straight into his capital with Alteration 9 and Enchantment 7. And I had seen him beating up everybody with Farcaster, Maws of the Earth, and I was just like, okay, well, here's Mass Flight and Army of Gold. Good luck. And turn 40. But he's done some good fights. I know I'm a bad person.
Stone Troll is so fun to fight.
Yes.
Even whenever I've realized, whenever you war Stone Troll, you lose the game, but you win mentally.
Yeah,
I've never won a game I fought Stone Troll. They always drag on way too long and bring us both down with them.
Well, this time I think I've trumped them pretty well. It's unfortunate, just because early HTNG is bullshit. But I'm going to be uploading like half the fights with him, because every fight with him is so cool.
Yeah, and he's really interesting. He always does this shit. I'd never been Lamshada bombed before. Have you been Lamshada bombed? Did he Lamshada bomb you?
A one who to bomb?
A Lamshada bomb. You know the Lamshadas, the summon you never see?
Oh, Lamashtas.
Oh, Lamashtas, yeah.
Yeah, I've done that to people.
Yeah, he did that to me for the first time I ever experienced it. That shit was awful.
No, what he did to me the other day that was super, I had never considered this, is he empowered, I mean, he's crazy, but he empowered a Polymarch with Astral.
Oh, is it the Phoenix Pyre magic tool?
Yes, that was so cool.
I talked to him about that when we were coming up with it.
That's absolutely genius.
He was coming up with it. Yeah, I've done that before. It's really strong.
That was absolutely genius. He was trying to get my Pretender, but that TNG game's gotten to the point where I'm just fucking around, so I summoned the Jin. The Construction Jin.
Yeah, I know Trinterper, yeah.
I've never seen him before, and I was like, well, let's find out what he looks like. And goddamn, the thing's good.
Yeah, it's just it's at Construction 8. DE, I think, does Construction rate.
Okay, but hear me out. It's Construction 8 and 65 gems, right? That thing is the King of Elemental Earth and King of Elemental Fire and Air at the same time, and it just happens to also have Astral and Earth.
Yeah, and I agree with you. It is very, very good, but you know the thing is, to go from Construction 7 to 8 is a lot. If you go from 7 to 8, then you could go to Ult 7 and Enchantment 7. And both of those combined are better than that, dude. And if you're going 7 to 8, you might as well go 7 to 8 up ult so you can get to ult 9. Like, the issue with the issue with Construction 8 isn't that that one thing is bad, but that everything else that's good is super good.
Yeah.
Though it could be argued to be better than Conjure, but the sad thing is that's the only thing there. Or one of the few things there. There's like that, the Soulstone of the Woods, the Horror Harmonica.
Alright, so I have Shimaro, who I'm almost certain that's the Marverni from my Bosmos game. He's asking a question, and I can get your input on this as well. On how long do you spend on turns in Dominions 5?
It depends. Do you want to go first?
No, I'm asking you. You go for it.
Okay. So it really depends the game, because I kind of put games, because I play a lot of games generally. I put games in specific spaces where some I'll take serious, some I won't. So yeah, so I'll normally take 2 to 3 games serious, no matter how many games I'm in, and I treat those very differently from the other games. I don't like testing, but I'll test expansion. But I'll make sure to test expansion rigorously. I'll pay high levels of attention. I'll focus on Diplo, stuff like that. Those games generally take longer. Invite only is one of them, for reference. But it still doesn't. Early turns generally don't take me long. But I also play Dominions, like I'm playing an RTS game, because I play RTS games.
Mhm.
So I like shoot across the screen quickly. Past, I'd say you'll hit a certain point in a turn. Whenever you get into a Dominion's turn and you're ever like, oh, I have so much shit to do, that's when you gotta like start taking your time and really think. Like, you should always take your time. And I have a guide on Ilwiki, shameless plug, that Naira edited beautifully for me called Good Turn Habits that you should always run through.
Oh.
And you should always do that.
Can I get a link to that?
But
You send me on Discord, I'll post it in chat, or you can post it in chat.
oh yeah, sure.
I can read that
I'll find
eventually.
it. I made this when I was bad at the game. I just got good players to give me a.
Wait, hold on. When did you get good at the game?
I never did.
I'm kidding. Fair enough.
Shit.
I'm the
Like
same way.
slightly. I'd argue I'm average for immersion, and extremely above average for Nexus.
Oh yeah.
That's what I stand by.
I don't do all skills game or any of that anymore.
I do sometimes. They're pretty fun to end.
I'm very similar to you, to what you mentioned about the RTS comparison. If you guys have seen me blitz, I'm flicking all over the place. I'm done my turn in like a minute, and then I'm just fucking around.
Yeah, I'm very quick in blitzes. I like blitzes a lot because I'm very quick. But the thing with blitzes is I'll often finish, and then I'll have to wait 10 minutes. So I normally play blitzes while playing like Rimworld or something, and I'll like pause, or I'll be, because I write for fun. And I'll start writing while waiting for like fucking Johnny to take 10 minutes on a turn, or Isataris to take 20.
Yeah, I used to.
When I took 5. Yeah, that's the link. But
I'll post
the
it when I get killed.
it's definitely just turn dependent. Take what feels right. Don't rush it. Never feel guilty taking an extension past turn like 20. Like, don't. Just don't. Like 24 hours, 48 hours at a certain point. If you're at a stage of the game where you're like dealing with smaller players or you're fighting a lot, expect sometimes you take multiple sessions for your turns. That's really all I could say. I've extended Gulliver's Travels so much, everyone's already regretted starting it again. I don't care, my turns take so long and I have so much pain in them. Like, you just like to put in perspective, I did an Iridia Disciples game of Scaleria, my turns took 6 hours about. And that's because I automated a bunch of it. And by automate, I mean I named a bunch of my commander-specific things. And I moved shit around to points where it was less efficient, but it was easier for me to manage. And I think sometimes that's worth doing if you're not like Sion the tourney or Quinn the tourney. Like, you move your forgers to 1 fort, even if it wastes mage turns, or you you revive king to make logistics less annoying, so you get that map move, stuff like that. Make sure, if you want some stuff that makes your turns take longer but really helps your gameplay, is making nature boots or flying boots to move your logistic mages around quicker, so you're more up on the mage movements. Instead of like kind of walking them around slowly giving big move orders, you can kind of wait and move them specifically. And you'll see in a lot of the really good players' turns, if you see them once they're done, is the turns have shit moving everywhere. And that takes a while. So that's normally when the time comes in. When you hit the point of the game where your logistics are complicated, you have all your gems on scouts, and your scouts are wearing boots, that's when it's going off. Okay? But yeah, it really, like, there's no...
You're saying these things, and I'm like, yes, all of that.
Yeah, so, like, really, it depends on the game and who you are. Like, I'd consider myself a quick Dominions player, and then I can do my turns quickly. But some turns just take time. And sometimes you really need to think about it. But sometimes you got to take a script and you copy it and you put it on 10 mages and you click them into a province and you move them all into the back and you give them each 2 gems, and that takes 10 minutes. And now you've won a war with some player because they don't know how to fight air elementals. So it depends.
Yeah, that's fair.
I do
agree
think
with
some
everything you said.
nations will always take longer than others. Blood nations take the longest, no matter what you do, if you're playing them well, by far. And in fact, I'd argue blood nations will, on average, take double the time to do a turn a tier nation that isn't a blood nation or blood focused will take. Because good blood economy involves blood hunting not on labs, and that means you got to shuffle slaves, and that's torture. And manage unrest and patrol.
Are you, by any chance, in the immersion game, what, horror, vanilla, all skills, something?
No.
No? Okay.
Though I actually subbed into Rust, and I was technically part of the Ermor Hydra, but I didn't really do anything. I never really looked at shit.
All right.
I just laughed at them when they lost.
I'm going to get myself called here real quick. I want to kind of boot that up, just because some of the stuff you're saying, I think I have at least 30 Boots of the Messenger spread throughout everywhere. And
yeah, you just shuffle them, dude.
Yeah, that's how you get places. And that game, I've just started doing stupid shit, because I have nothing else to do. It's what happens when you max out the tech tree and by turn 40. Hold on, wait, gotta die. And I have everyone, okay. I have everyone moving about. Okay, let's see if... Hold on, I think I have
I wonder
to...
how many games I'm in right now. How do I see if I can...
Oh, perfect. Did it automatically go to the minions? Are you guys seeing the minions right now?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, so this is kind of like my core area. I don't have things moving over here because I've started to be lazy because I just finished the war against this guy. But up here, this is kind of what your turns look like. And this is still not even that bad because most of my movements coming from here to there with Gateway. And then you'll see just Boots of the Messenger. Everybody. Oh man, it's so quiet now. Oh, is my audio working?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you just got quiet.
Yeah, no, because I'm trying to watch. I'm trying to figure out how I can mute YouTube.
Oh, well, that should
on my phone.
I'm on my phone. This is like my current turn in this one. This is the one I was telling you that I fought Stone Troll because my research is stupid. And this is because I've stopped building. I have 267 fire gems. And I've stopped making lightless lanterns because I don't care anymore. But yeah, definitely, you just spam Boots of the Messenger because when you get this big, moving one province at a time to get anywhere is ridiculous. And if you guys know anything of TNG, it's these mages are important, and you just gotta get places.
Yeah, you just gotta walk around. It's like. And you also run into issues where the other benefit of Boots of the Messenger is you can never have enough. Because, especially depending on the nation, because a lot of the common raiding or mage usage strategies, any kind of continual mage usage, will just benefit from the Boots of the Messenger. So if you're trying to clinch out a fight, or clinch out a raid, having your Scully spammer wearing them can, like, make it where you could raid with one instead of two. Quite useful.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think if there's any other
I use them in
tips to, like, mage usage.
Especially for mages that are going to do like that one big spell. Ignore the organization because this is me. This army had all of this equipment, and I just took it off all of them because I'm gatewaying the main part of the army somewhere else, and I'm going to equip new mages to do the same thing. So my inventory is a mess. So I know some of you guys in chat are looking at it. Sorry. And what were you mentioning right there, Mr. Wolf?
I'm trying to remember. I was just first I was talking about the usage of reinvigoration. Oh yeah, always sort your damn treasure. As much as it seems annoying, it's just so useful to have everything in a clear like differentiation. But The other tips that I'd argue, one thing is if you're ever in a war, if you can avoid sitting on gems, like if you don't know what you're going to use your gems for,
Mhm.
try to find some usage for them, either to dump them in now or find some future purpose, because gems are, you can use them for like people that are like, I can't spend my gems, just aren't thinking, to be
100%.
honest,
I agree with you.
because you can always spend the gems. And like we talked about, like whether it's esoteric shit, like empowering a fire mage in S so he can be a Phoenix Fire magic dueler, or like more literal shit, like just summoning elementals in battle. Or like some people don't think about this, like you play a nation, a water air nation, you can gem a water gem to cast freezing mist
Mhm.
and surprise your opponent. Or you're fighting a sacred nation that didn't take CR, which is actually very rare. I'm not gonna say it's rare, but it's the least take and resist. You can summon frost drakes and wreck their sacreds, which I've done multiple times.
So
There's so many things you could dump gems into.
I do want to mention this
Sorry.
game specifically as you talk in that, because I do have giant stockpiles of gems, and there is reason behind it. At the beginning of the game, I was doing what you were saying. I was alchemizing all to get the air and water. Now I'm stockpiling them because just because there's an interesting thing of ENT and Chi is your recruitment centers are actually these guys. So just in case you guys like you're hearing this about use your gems, and I'm like I'm agreeing, but then you look at my score. I'm stockpiling gems because these guys summon all of your good units. The fire gems I'm stockpiling for Flames from the Sky. Earth gems is because I don't want to go under. Or I had Earth Depot at some point. I didn't need to be spending this Wizard Tower, and then Death gems because I want to overcast.
Yeah.
Well, of Misery. I want to take that away from this guy.
And having a use for your gems doesn't mean you have to use them immediately, but just have something in mind where you could get value out of them, especially if you're at war. And yeah, sitting on 333 water gems on EA Zib is a problem.
Yes, 100%. Because water elementals will kill things. Winter wolves will kill things.
Well, EA Zib does not have water as a path. They have fire. I'm actually in an EA Zib game right now.
You have nature mages.
Yeah. So what you can do is EA Zib, and what I was going to segue is if you don't have anyone to trade with, and if you don't have water on your god, you can very easily empower one of your nature mages, like empower Nana Queen to water, and now you're a so empower Nana Queen to water, or empower the Llama Queen further into water. She's a water random, and now you're becoming a full-fledged water nation because you can remember you can always site search with mages you've empowered and shit, but like you can summon you're a blood nation, so you should be able to summon the Frost Devils, which have more water. And now your water's spreading, and then you can summon sea trolls, and you can site search with them, and you have water gems on them. So when you're sitting on that many gems, you don't have to cast globals, and you don't have to be getting direct combat power, but having mages that are capable of using a path is just as good a use, because you give those sea trolls or the ice devil a couple gems, and they can cast quickening. They can be casting Neefle Flames, which is one of the best evocations in the game late game. Like they could do Grip of Winter. Foul Vapors, and the trick with a lot of these spells, especially when it's an off path, is a lot of the times these spells are actually more effective when it's an off path because you take advantage of the fact the enemy doesn't expect it. You know what I mean? Like I was playing a TNN game and I didn't take Poison Rest because I'm like I could cast Poison Ward easily, and I could, and it worked for me up to that. I was fighting Pangea, I was winning whatever. I was also fighting Sturm's Rust, who just so happened to find Amazons, nature water Amazons, and he took a fight and I won the fight, but I took extremely heavy casualties because I didn't cast Poison Ward and he cast Foul Vapors because he doesn't have Foul Vapor access. Now he found the Indies, but the same effect could be gained from empowering in water.
Yep,
on one of his nature mages.
One piece of advice that I was given when I started the game, and lately I've discovered it was probably the worst piece of advice I got, was I was told not to ever empower. And that is a huge mistake. Like, no, empowering is amazing.
Yeah, I was told the same thing, actually.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I got told empowering is the least efficient thing, and it is. Empowering is very inefficient for jumping up paths you already have access to that you can forge boosters for. However,
sometimes,
yeah, sometimes there's some specific boosters that are super expensive. However, often empowering, especially in an off path or for specific uses, if you don't have another use for your gem, just do it, dude.
So
Especially if you have high income.
one of the things I've been playing the thought of, and I said this earlier in mini games that I've been discovering these side quests and mini games to do with the minions. One of them is, for example, you get a nation like early HTNG, right? And you say their best death mage is Death 1. And even these guys, Death 1. Your mini game as this nation is as soon as you site search with that Death 1, right? As soon as you get 30 Death Gems, you empower that Death 1 into Death 2. And now he makes a Skull Staff, and now everybody's Death 2. And ideally, and then now that one person, Death specifically, uniquely, now that they're Death 2, they can twice born. And actually, I have a perfect example of that because I did it with this guy that I have him somewhere. I don't know where the mage is, but as you see, I'm already broken into blood. I've made a Mound Fiend. All because I had a Death 1 mage empower himself into Death 2 and then just do stuff. I'm going to cast F27 Death Income, and I'm going to cast Well of Misery because I empowered a Death 1 mage into Death 2, and I just climbed up the tree that way. And there's a bunch of nations that do that. I don't know where my white mage is. There's so much shit going on in this game, and I'm on autopilot.
But yeah, so gems definitely always worth using. Like the classic one, you can actually see it all with golems. I think golems is a good example tool because golems you can kind of do stuff with most of the gem types, right? And you just don't think about it normally, but like you empower it in fire, and most people these days, because of Arco, have heard of and Lucid's love of them, have heard of Phoenix Fire golems.
Mm-hmm. Those are good.
And that's fire gems. But you can also Soul Drain Golem with Death.
Mm-hmm.
You can Hell Power Golem with Blood. You can Wrathful Skies Golem with Air. Anything besides those three, like Wrathful Skies isn't as effective, Earthquake Golem, whatever. But the point is, there's always uses for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's an important thing. So I think gems is definitely gems and staying organized are definitely two of the biggest things I could say. Just have fun though. It's a game.
This was another one. Not so much, or maybe TNN. I don't know TNN's roster really well. Let me see. Yeah, TNN's another one. TNN gets Earth 1. They don't get Earth 2. So that's another nation where you want to get
so
this
TNN
and have them.
TNN, you take Earth on your god. There's no way around it. TNN, you take Earth on your because you want strength anyway. TNN, you take Earth on your god, or you buy Earth boots. But actually, in my last TNN game, which I went AI, but I could have won that game. I'm gonna fluff my feathers. But I was fighting RCK, who was playing very, very poorly.
RCK is good.
That's actually what'd you say?
RCK is good.
All right. Anyway, so that's the game Spermthal vapored me, and RCK was running around with stacks of white centaurs with no mage support, and RCK knows how to use secrets. Anyway, so I had wanted Mother Oak that game, and TNN. This is an interesting thing. TNN is N4. Mother Oak is a really strong global for that early nature gem boost, but a lot of people don't think about that. Besides Pan, or with a Pretender, nobody can natively cast it. Even with very few people can natively cast it, even with Construction 4.
I would say nobody.
TNN,
Luciani is a thing.
Yeah.
No one plays.
Shit. And there's a couple others, but TNN as a nation really likes its nature gem. So I'm like, I'm gonna go Mother Oak. I had a bunch of stockpiled because I got a bunch of nature sites.
They can get Nature Force.
No, TNN can't do it. TNN doesn't have Nature 4. You have to get a double random.
Oh, okay.
On a 10%. Yeah. TNN is cap only is Air 3 Nature 2 with a Nature, Water, Air, Earth random. And then a 10% of the same thing.
I won a game the other day I subbed into as Airyu. Those Twapa mages are stupid.
That's TNN.
Not TNN, Airyu.
Oh, Airyu. Oh, yeah, dude. TNN, though, is so good.
Yeah, no, TNN's one of those nations that I haven't played directly because my personal opinion is they're too strong. I wouldn't have fun with them. But I use their stuff whenever I can, as you guys saw.
I stand by. They're easy top 5 strongest EA nations, up there with Vanheim and Theranos. So stupid. Anyway, HP should have won his tourney game. He clowned out. Anyway, what I was gonna say was, so what I did was I actually empowered my cap only mage into nature because I wasn't getting the 10% random on anything.
Mhm.
And then I was of course forging a Thistlemist for it. The turn I did that, I got the 10% random with the other random, so 2.5%,
Well,
which was really annoying.
here's what you need to keep in mind for that exact situation, and this is just a mindset thing. Just think of it as you're empowering one mage to do that Mother Oak or whatnot, and that is going to guarantee that the next one you recruit is going to double random. So now you're empowering one mage, but you're actually getting two.
I hate you.
That's the mindset
what I was
you have
gonna
to do.
say. What I was gonna say, and the actual mindset you should have, because that's just not true.
Yes.
I wish it was. The actual, what it benefited off with me is I actually didn't get Mother Oak. Russ cast it with their god, with Nature Gems. Pangaea gave it to them. That's a funny story.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Sturm's like, I cast it for Pangaea. I'm like, he didn't cast it for himself. Clearly, RCK clown. Anyway, so I didn't have Mother Oak, but I had two N4s, but I still kept one back because I went to war with Sturm solely because I was miffed over Mother Oak.
I mean,
And I found out he cast it on his god, and I assassinated it. I didn't assassinate it. I baited it out of his fort onto a province, and then I magic phased it. And then I cast Mother Oak that turn, assuming I'd succeed, and I did.
nice.
That
That's
was
clever.
so good. But the point is, the second N4, to segue off the original point, the second N4, I kept using. Like, it's not like it was useless. I ended up using it for... It was in a lot of my armies, because it could cast Howl, and then it could cast, like, something else. You know what I mean? Or it could cast something else into Howl.
Yeah.
I think I was doing Mass Protection Howl with it. And having a Nature 4, I got it to Nature 5, was just really useful.
All right. So quick, because I do want to continue this conversation, but I did promise. There was a person,
Yeah.
Arpatheus, asked, "What is one piece of advice you'd give to new players?" I will say this one first, and then you can go there. I'll go first this time, just because I know I'm all heretical and stuff, and people disagree with it.
Just go first.
The one piece of advice I'll give to new players is get shit done, and by that I mean, and the kind of this whole like talk about empowering is actually the best example I could give for it, where maybe sometimes people will say that, oh, this is an efficient way to do things. Oh, you shouldn't do this. You should do that instead. If the thing that you think you want to do that is going to work for you will work, do it. Sometimes there are times to be efficient and there are times to do things. They're not always at the same time. So the best piece of advice I could give is if you know something's going to work and maybe some people are telling you that it's not efficient or do something, like just do the thing. Just do the thing. Anyways,
Okay, I got two.
go for it.
First piece of advice is join Lucids and Immersion, huzzah,
There you go.
and take as much advantage of the Menti channels and the questions on both servers as you can. Because both servers have, I'll be honest, I didn't get to finish the conversation earlier. I can't remember. I was talking about server skill, but after HP doing testing for me because I hand off Ruby, both of the servers together share the same player base in all practical sense. Besides a couple players that don't travel from Lucids to Immersion, and both together have the highest strength player base. So that means your games will be harder. But that also means with both, what's asking for advice, I can almost guarantee you'll get better quality advice on Lucids or Immersion than you'd get on Nexus, Reddit, or GameFub, or Ruby, God forbid. And then the other piece of advice...
Wait, Ruby? What's Ruby?
Is... Oh, it's the server me and Asataris are banned from.
Okay, we'll get back. We'll circle back to that. What's your second piece of advice?
Yeah. My second piece of advice is just play the game for fun. And I guess it's something that takes getting used to because you kind of spend months playing these games, so you get attached to your position. Don't be afraid to lose and just take the jump and play. And try to win. Don't try not to die. Try to win. And I think that's a very important difference to make because you see in a lot of players, like games I've subbed into, people will just sit there because they have choice paralysis or whatever. It's often, and especially if you're trying to limit your game quantity, whatever. It's often better to try to win and die and then
Mhm.
join a new game with a new perspective, or succeed and do something cool and feel good about it and have your game go someplace than to sit there jacking off.
That is a good point because I do see a lot of players. I can't spoil exactly where I saw it, but it's on a video series that's going up by somebody. Where once they get into a
It's
bad
called new
position,
player casting too.
I don't know what you're talking about. But a lot of players get into a position where they think they can't do much, so they just start patrolling their capital and they don't ever move. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I don't even have to. I'm not there for recording, by the way, but he's just too obvious. He could have just said, "Yeah, I've seen players," and nobody would have questioned it.
No.
Shit. Dude, new player casting one was great, though. Everyone was going.
Yeah, that's another. If you haven't seen New Castings 1, I highly recommend go through New Castings 1 and then go to New Castings 2. New Castings 2 is a
Ballin
wild ride.
Stolen. Yeah, Ballin Stolen stole my voice. He sounds like me, in my opinion. I stand by that. Also, what was I going to say? Shit.
Yeah,
No.
you know, you do sound a little bit like him.
Yeah, I heard that when he first talked to camera. Oh, also, you know what's funny? You remember when we did the? This is going off again. You remember when we did the post game thing for All Stars?
Yeah,
Where we
the
all got
thing
on Lucid's
that
channel and I talked a bunch of shit. You remember that?
yeah, the one that I arrived in the last 5 minutes because I got stuck in a Burger King because there was this crazy person across the Burger King from me
Yeah.
calling the FBI about. There's a lot of adjectives involved, but it is essentially these lizard aliens trying to change his sexual
Yeah, I got there
preferences so
late
he
to
could
that too.
sin. So I got in the last five
Way
minutes
too.
because I was just eating my fries and listening to this, and I can't. When someone starts talking about that stuff, you have to just listen.
I got there late too, but what I was gonna say is, so I got access to the channel for that. But Lucid, great old Lucid, never took it away. I haven't. You weren't there both times, but I have crashed 2 recordings for the new casting
I think
because
AT crashed.
I opened. Yeah, he probably has because I open Lucid's. I'm like, oh, Lucid Tactics talking to Razier, and I pop it. I'm like, Rav, you dog, and he's like, we're recording. I'm like, okay. The phase where they were recording when I was around, I was lucky for them. I was at my aunt's because we had power issues at home. So because of that, I wouldn't talk when I first joined VCs most of the time. So I'd talk in chat, text chat, which saved some recordings. But I think I talked in one of them. I'm pretty sure in one of these recordings you're gonna like hear me pop in towards the end. But yeah, servers. Let me check the chat.
Who else was in New Castings 1? I know Ravsio was Joman, I was Marignon, Grippa was Jotunheim. Who else was there that's like a big community member? Ballin Stalin, I know, subbed in to Gath at one point.
I don't know. I wasn't even a community member then. I might have been, but I wasn't one that actually knew these people. I still was in like the looter crowd. I played with Sauron, Gono, Lola, and the French then.
Uh-huh.
When it was COVID and we all blitz every day. Oh, that was so good, dude. We blitzed so much.
I wish I blitzed more.
Dude, we had
hard.
we had so many blitz. I remember because it was COVID, right?
Oh, this fight.
I'd one day, this is when I was first getting into Dominions, I'd wake up, I'd play a blitz with Seventh Path and his friends. I'd finish, and then I'd eat lunch, and then I'd do another blitz with Gono and the French.
Oh my god.
When they woke up, it was so good, dude. That's literally the only reason I'm as good at the game as I am, is because while everyone learned in long form games, I played like 40 blitzes in the span of a month. There's a clip on Stone Troll's YouTube channel somewhere. It's one of the ones I missed, sadly, but like you could just see how the immersion blitzes were. Oh yeah, servers.
Yeah.
Can you tell I'm hyper even when it's 4 a.m.?
Jeez.
I don't have class
to talk
tomorrow.
about Dominions.
I have a week off. Yeah, dude, I do. It's a fun game. I just like talking now, to be straight.
Fair enough. It's a valuable skill.
So like, so what ended up? Wait, what happened to Stone Troll?
These battles that I've been running in the background, these are some of my early age TNG battles against Stone Troll. This is he magic phased his pretender. I was gonna magic phase and magic duel it with my pretender for the flex, but I had 2 globals and he had 1 global, and I said it wasn't worth the risk. And 32 protection is not enough. Not when this asshole is bonking you with this club. Yeah, he had his big. I don't know if you saw it from the beginning.
Yeah. I was watching it fine because I always forget the stream delay.
Oh, yeah, there is a stream delay. Whoops.
Yeah.
My bad.
Oh,
yeah.
You didn't do that on purpose?
I don't know.
Were you
how to
worried
do
someone
things,
on
dude.
Bannerlord was gonna snipe you? I was just trying to see like what you were talking about because you were mentioning the game.
No. Someone's gonna snipe me in battle. I'm not worth sniping. I didn't know that there was a stream delay.
It's not a big deal. It's like 5 seconds. I'm the only one that would notice because I'm actually here and checking on the stream to see what people comment.
Is that something I can change somewhere?
Probably. I don't think it particularly matters.
Well,
Actually, probably not. Doesn't
We'll
really matter here.
But yeah, this was the first big fight against Stone Troll, where he was going to do his Maws of the Earth thing that I saw him doing to somebody else. So he had these guys all set up to do things. He brought his god. He brought some polemarchs, a big line of hoplites, and I was a fool. I shouldn't have brought all these guys, these humans, because I don't have the bless.
Clown Troll.
I don't have Spirit Sight, and I should have, but this game I really just wanted to spawn next to Toldi and then just run at Toldi. But I don't even know where he is on the map, and I've killed 2 players. So I just took like this as a bless, because I just wanted to run at somebody. I guess 5-second delay.
Yeah, I'm looking at the bless was.
There you go. So I got in this fight against this guy, and I'm just like, well, I wonder what's going to happen to these Meconian hoplites if I turn off the lights and cast Mass Light. Not very well. Not good things to them.
No, see, if he could read your mind,
okay,
he would have cast Solar Eclipse.
He would have cast Solar Eclipse.
Yeah, because Solar Eclipse overdoes darkness.
Oh.
So it would only be a -3.
Fair enough. In his defense, though, I'm the first time I see an early age TNG do anything.
That's I've seen early age TNGs die before.
I've seen them die. Yeah, because they're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bless these human guys to the 9s, and I'm like, no, these guys.
No, I've seen them do shit with. I've seen them do shit with the 5 livers, dude. They kind of. They're one of those nations nobody wants to play.
Well, these guys, these celestial soldiers, are broken as shoot, and these trolls or demons, whatever, are also stupid broken. Like this guy's just walking around with 30 strength.
What makes Tianqi so good is because they can gem dump gems people don't want, so they can just trade for them. Like who's gonna use water gems and fire gems in EA?
Early age Tianqi.
Yeah, besides them, even Abyssy, I'll probably sell you fire. Like, what am I gonna do? Cast fire elementals? Here, take them. I don't have the gold to recruit mages anyway.
Plus, that was the best thing I started doing. I stopped recruiting these guys. Once I just got the gem income, I was just like, whatever. Like, I need another thug back here, but the problem is, Temper Flesh and 31 protection is fine, but not when these guys hit you for 44, and if they get hit by Strength of Giants, they hit 49.
Yeah.
With 23 attack skill.
No, they're very good.
You're not thugging that.
One of my turns just
right there.
Let me see how this looks. My Fascia sub rolled? Shit. I think they're trying to dom kill me in my sub, and I might get dom killed.
But
There's nothing I can do about it, though.
This is what early age TNG does. I think this is like a pretty powerful strength of theirs.
I think they got a very good mid game.
That site searching screen is just chef's kiss. Just casually have every single path in the game, and then you just kind of pivot.
This game's so shit. I knew someone was trying to dom kill me. Dude, I sub into this game. Man had like 1,600 or had 1,200 income and 1,600 upkeep, so I've not been able to recruit anything or make PD. And he doesn't know how to build temples, so everything around here is Urmor Dominion. This game's so shit. I'm not gonna worry about it. I can go AI at least, and that'll for a big turn.
No, don't go AI. Kill people.
Literally worst sub. One of the worst subs I've taken. The dude is so bad. Like, oof. Orochi, I'm sorry, man. If you're in the chat, you need to rethink how you do your turns
X.
because he held apparently for like 20 turns. He pressed E without moving.
X.
Is the story behind it, and he was getting attacked by like a Olm, and he did this right after breaking Nap with a Carcosa by sneaking a fully geared Grey Lord under one of Carcosa's provinces. Yeah, I don't know why he was recruiting Grey Lords and Grey Riders, but he was. Anyway, point is, it's a shitty position. I was trying to make it work, but I'm being attacked by a second player now. I don't really care enough to probably outscript him. I'll see.
Fair enough.
The second player is going to win no matter what I do because he has like full royalty. And I'm about to die to Dom pushing because the guy I subbed for built no temples. As Fascia, who wants to spread their dominion, but it's whatever. I'll probably try some shit with their allies. And Army of Gold. But, so Dominion servers. So there's Reddit, Nexus. Then there's Ruby. So Ruby is like, I believe it's the most recent continuation of Dom G. But it's like the Uwu Speak server.
Oh my.
Dude, that sounded like a dog. What the fuck? This is so weird. I hear what sounds like a dog in here. The fuck?
That's just you, my friend.
Yeah. No, there ain't a dog in here, because what the fuck would there be a dog
How
in
do you
here?
keep an EAN Titan safe from Horrormark? So actually, surprised me. And when I get to it, the last video, or I think it's the second to last video, I don't remember how I planned it. I think the second to last video of my Titan series had to deal with Titans. And essentially, Horrormark is going to be the way of dealing with them if you want to get them out of your way permanently. If you want to kill them once or twice, just, you kill them and then you take over the player. There's a whole other ways I'll talk about. But if you want to remove them
the combo?
from play permanently, it's Horrormark. Even just like one or two casts of it will ruin its day. There is a build that I have that will kill, with almost any Titan, will kill the Hunter of Titans or whatever his name is. And you're going to see this a few times in some of my series. To make that build work, the Titan has to stay in the capital. He cannot leave the capital, which he might as well be dead at that point. And he can't equip any other item because the turn he equips another item, that's when he's getting attacked. So it still deals with him forever, regardless.
Yeah, and the real combo when you're getting when you're horror marking a Titan, or if it gets horror marked, the real issue is if they also curse it. Curse is like underrated as far as effects go.
Yeah, curse is how you kill anything,
especially with Titans.
Like whenever people send me pictures of thugs or Titans or whatever, and they're like, "How do I kill this?" Step 1, curse.
Step 2, GSS, HP wit.
Sometimes, because you can kit out thugs if you have absurd defense skill and a way to not get harassed down. GSS might not be as effective. When is 4 to 6 guide on Titans? If it helps you get a better date, I have written down the summary points of what I want to talk about. I haven't actually recorded myself talking about it, and then I need to invent footage for Utility Titans, which honestly, there wouldn't be too much, because Utility Titans fighting is such a small role of what they do, in my opinion. They can fight, but they die by the time you get them, because usually Utility Titans, in my opinion, are going to be like turn 36 plus. You're going to imprison them. At that point, they die to a stiff breeze, unless your opponent just doesn't have a stiff breeze. But they should, and if they don't, it's their fault. But I have the talking points of what I want. I just need to get off my ass and record it, and get the footage that I'm going to use just to kind of run in the background, because people like that. People don't like staring at the screen like they're doing right now.
So awesome. That's interesting. What do you consider Utility Titan?
Let me see if I have one. Essentially, it's an imprisoned something. I mean, it can be dormant too. It's a Titan that's its goal is something more than expand or kill things. It is literally in the name, utility. It has a job. It can be cast globals. It can be craft you items, break you into paths.
Oh, I get what you mean. It's just in my mind that's normally a Dom 1 thing, but I can see you doing that with Titans if you're trying to get a specific global up.
Yes, and the important thing of a Titan versus an imprisoned like human is it's a Titan. It's not a chassis that's gonna like
Vulnerable.
die.
It's also
doing
cheaper
great
if you're going
things.
for 2 class.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Hmm. I don't think
You don't.
I have
I
one
get what
on
you're
me.
saying now. Yeah,
I don't think I have
to
one
cast
under
something. Mm-hmm.
because I like
Well,
very very often accidentally delete all of my Dominions files. So
what he means is he purposefully deletes them because when you record videos, your Dominions files, you save your games and they take a gigabyte a turn. God, dude, my Iridia game, oh God, dude, 10 gigs.
include that in here. But mainly they'll come in and they're gonna do something big. So like I don't know, an easy example you can do. Oh, I saw this once. I saw Uruk come in and do Uruk, and they'll have one of these guys. This guy? And a Neck of the Moon. They had like this guy with like a million astral and air.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've seen similar things.
Yeah.
The real trick is Astral Fire, and then you Phoenix Fire Magic Duel.
True.
I've seen Magic Duel Titans before on Nazca.
Yep. The immortal ones.
No, you take a Titan with high S and Magic Duel, so the enemy can't Magic Duel your Royal Meliquid.
Fair enough.
So they're scared too, I should say, because you could just teleport onto a stack with like a Ring Returning, or do Magic Duel Returning.
Yeah, that could work. So that's a utility, I guess. What I remember this guy doing, this was Highflight, I think, used him. He had this jackass come in. He'd randomly magic phase onto his armies that were he would horribly misposition his armies, I think, on purpose. And you're like, aha, I've got you cornered. And then this son of a gun shows up and either Wrathful Skies you, Master Enslaves, or if there's nothing clean, he's just going to show up and do Vortex of Returning. Like, okay, there goes the entire army. They're back safely in their capital. So that's a utility thing. I used one once with Late Age Pythium for something similar. Although he was dormant. This guy. So he had a dormant utility Titan, which was this guy. I took this guy, and I think I just did like this. And I said, this guy is going to craft a Ring of Sorcery. And if I need them, he's going to craft the little crystal communion shits. And if none of that works, he is going to make me Earth Boots, which Late Age Pythium desperately needs Earth Magic. And in late game battles, he can either Army of Gold or Master Enslave or Will of the Fates or whatever. Things that are otherwise, like Pythium can do these, but it's hard. And then this guy just makes it easy. And then if you take him dormant, there's a chance that a lot of enemy armies in the late age fit the mold that this guy will just kill them. Like I used this guy to kill hundreds of Yedens that for whatever reason were in the same province. I just said magic phase with the Great Sword of Sharpness and like 30 something protection, and they all died. So that to me is a utility Titan. Its number one goal isn't kill shit. Its number one goal is something else. That's not kill shit and it's not expand. Hope that helps.
Have you I don't remember, did you talk about the Allfather?
The Allfather. Sailing?
Are you going to if you haven't?
I could see this guy be
the Norse. No, he is the best combat Titan in the game.
Why is that?
Because his pass costs 40. So, and he is mounted, so you can stack S on him as 7, and then you just take a low rainbow with all the other paths. And he is practically unkillable.
Him being mounted actually can be pretty good.
Yeah, so because he's mounted, he doesn't get harassable, and you'll notice he already has high base defense. And for scale neutral, you can take every path. So if you drop a couple, you just take like nature, water, earth,
Hmm.
and maybe like death or blood. Like I've dealt with all of those dormant, and it is hell because he has super high mat move and flying. So he doesn't even have to magic phase every fight. And of course, you take high S. It's just he's really strong. It's just something I think because
At
he's the
lightning
only
armor,
Titan that.
yeah.
Yeah, he's an army wiper. He's not a utility.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. I don't
Yeah,
know if you
like
mentioned that for him.
dueling other Titans, I think this is one of the best ones.
He's just really good because of the paths costing 40
Yeah,
and being mounted.
something I hadn't noticed. No, I like this guy for killing other Titans or killing. Like, I'll throw this at Anakites because
But
he starts with a Firebrand. Well, it doesn't. The main attack doesn't have armor piercing, so maybe you can swap that out. But for generic
which
shit,
guy?
the Father of Monsters,
Oh, I know which one that is. Yeah.
yeah, the little crab claws,
Mhm.
because those are just casually armor piercing. So he just defaults with 2 armor piercing attacks in addition to his weapon slot.
Yeah.
So if you get him point buffs or the paths to just not die to things like Anakites, he will just kill them all. Like, no question.
Yeah, his biggest issue is definitely his paths are more like him SC paths.
Yeah, like this guy casts Acid Storm and kills shit.
Or he can do Phoenix Pyre Soul Vortex later on, but early on he doesn't have the nature water or the earth.
Yeah, so it depends what nation you are. You can get those. I think Pelagia gets them pretty easy.
Yeah.
Pelagia gets nature water everywhere.
What was I gonna say? I've been trying to talk about so much stuff and we keep getting sidetracked, and I blame you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so in the tourney game of Isataris and Naira, okay, and I could talk about this because both of them know about it, so it's not like this classified and shit, right? Two of them are fighting. Naira took an Idol of Sorcery with D6 S3, I think.
Idol of Sorcery. Who can get one of those?
Jotunheim. He's playing Jotunheim.
Ooh, these things are
I'll
cool.
let you pull it up.
These
The
things are
innate
cool.
caster.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what he's doing is he's fighting Ferrotyrian, who's playing Pythium. Poor, poor guy. Naira's thing, apparently it was Isataris' idea.
Mhm.
He just teleports onto a stack and casts Bone Grinding twice.
Mhm.
And then that wins him the fight that happens that turn.
Yeah, that's a
It
Temper's
is.
item. Or
It
in a
is.
mobile in this case.
That's yeah, but it is the funniest shit. Because Ferrotyrian's like, how do I deal with this? And we're like, can you kill it? He's like, yeah, but he has 25 goods. And that's just the power of a properly empowered. You can empower something like that, or a properly geared pretender with innate caster. Because I'm talking to an audience now, but really I just wanted to talk about it because it's so cool. Because innate casters have a turn 0 to cast. Okay,
Yeah.
innate casters have turn 0. Everyone else starts at turn 1. So what it does is it casts Bone Grinding, which you can't. It's not like it's MR negates. It's just 2 damage before the enemy mages cast, and then they start casting, and it casts Bone Grinding again quicker than what they're going to cast. So what it does is it teleports to a fight, or it's in a fight because it teleported in advance to the defender side, and it kills a bunch of the mages and hurts a bunch of the troops while also interrupting most of the shit's script. So good. That's what makes that's why Nazca is such a rush target, generally. It's not just because they have scalable sacred summons that are good. It's also because as far as nations go, they have innate casters. So that means they're gonna win the ultra late game. And the late game really better than most other nations. Or not even late, like the late mid, because being able to cast before your opponent lets you do stuff like bone grinding, time stop, bloodletting if you have blood and your name's Zan,
Ooh.
before the enemy is able to script.
Yep. That's to a lesser extent to hop on that, because when I hear people talk about a lot of nations, they want to do communions. That's one of the reasons I don't like communions, because now I don't spend my first turn casting Communion Master, Communion Slave. I'm just going to do something.
And that's the weakness of them. Yeah.
So like, say a theoretical fight of Archacephaly against, I don't know, Abyssia as an example. Archacephaly, a lot of players are going to get those Mystics, and they're going to want to Communion them all up. Abyssia just turn 1 is going to say, okay, well, Flame Pillar. And Archacephaly is like, well, yeah, I'm just going to cast Army of Gold or Fire Resistance. It's like, well, yeah, you're going to do that after you cast Communion Master and Earth Power. And Abyssia is just saying Flame Pillar. And that's like a normal interaction. In the 8-caster, you can't do anything about, unless you have your own innate casters.
Yeah, innate casters are crazy.
Yes, they are. They are how you break the game. You're going to see some shenanigans with innate casters in Gulliver's if I end up getting.
I knew it was the first couple. It's also Talistic Animation.
You'll never know. You'll never know. When you're at Gods, do you believe it is worth to have Researching God for early game? So I've done an Awake Researcher, or like an Awake Researching God, as Ind, actually. Let me see if I still have him.
Oh, that's weird.
Hey, look, it
almost put it on him. Take a look.
There, I had this guy. I had this Netter of the Moon, which is a +2 Inspiring Researcher with Magic 3 skills. Awake, with Twist Fate so that I can actually expand. And the problem... So there's a few intricacies. When you take an Awake Researcher, you need a plan, and then you need to execute that plan. And nothing can go wrong in your plan because there's no recovering from it because you have an Awake Researcher. So this guy was stupid. He's not personally researching a lot, but Ind has... so this guy is... so you have +5 research. Ind, I was recruiting... Where are they? Abbot Magi. So I was getting 20 research points a turn for my capital. Like each mage I recruited was researching for 20, which is arguably going to be double with the next guy. So my plan that game, this is dumb, but whatever, was I'm going to Foul Vapors people as Ind. Because who looks at Ind and says, I'm going to get Foul Vapored? And it almost worked if it wasn't for Coconut, which was Satis in the finals, I believe. Where he just showed up with a bunch of poison-resistant centaurs and jumped on the capital of the person that I beat and said, well, this is mine now. And that kind of stopped my Awake Researcher plan. And it's one of the reasons I don't like it as much anymore, because you can just get ruined by somebody else, and then what? This was a utility titan. He had a job that wasn't kill people. Actually, well... his job sort of was kill people. He was also the one casting Foul Vapors.
Yeah, I think Awake Researchers are very nuanced. I definitely think, especially if you're new, try to stay away from them. Mm-hmm. Because, like Zan said, there's super high risk because you're putting all your eggs in one basket and it's a magic basket.
Yep.
Which is kind of the hardest aspect of the game. That's not to say they're bad. I have ran them on Femoria to good success, and I have ran it once on LA Ulm to extreme success.
Mm-hmm.
And I've ran it on Patala to good success. But that was Patala, so good success is marginal. But the definite thing with Awake Researchers is you're sacrificing a lot in the Pretender creation screen, so it's kind of got to be a Scales nation, but it also means you're not taking Scales. So it needs to be a Scales mage nation. That isn't have expensive mages generally, or has something to get by getting research quickly that can win it at a war against an opponent's Titan or an opponent's Bless or their full skills production. So you just have to be ready for that.
So like
if you're going to take an Awake Researcher, yeah, if you're going to take an Awake Researcher, normally your goal's Blood 5, Conch 5, or Ult 4 as quickly as possible. Those are just the 5. Or the 3. It's not you could think about Enchant 5, but I don't. Most Enchant nations, because of the fact you need a mass of mages, normally they're fine slowly ramping into Horde. While the other ones you don't need to slowly ramp into.
Well, actually, that's why I chose Enchantment 5 instead of the usual Conjuration 5 or whatnot. Because the second problem I find with Awake researchers is now you need to mobilize your mages to do the thing that you researched. Since my goal with this nation was literally just cast Foul Vapors, I mobilize this guy, and I don't touch any of my other mages. They stay researching.
I don't think it's an issue if you win. It's only an issue if you lose.
Yeah, it's just you might end up in the situation where I was, where I jumped on top of somebody's capital. My plan was 100% successful, and then I had 80 White Centaur show up next door and say, well, if you don't move, I'm going to kill you. And I said, well,
Or the player partially outplays you and the war drags out, and then you lost the game.
yeah,
You have to win quick.
That can also. I usually win my first wars. We'll see. I'm gonna fight Sloran now, and I might not win that war because I don't know how good Lady Jakarta is.
Yeah.
All right.
I need to figure out who the first war in that game.
Any Sloran? Any closing thoughts before I end the stream?
I don't board them. Yeah, good idea. I don't think there's anything that sticks out. I'm just trying to put my right contact in so I can sleep.
Don't sleep with those on.
I'm supposed to. They're nightlies.
Oh, well.
I only sleep with them on. I take them off when I wake up. It's this new thing. It's because my eyes are super bad.
Thanks.
Let me check the comments, see if anyone said anything.
I've been kind of looking over.
I don't trust you.
Fair enough.
When you were at Gods, do you believe it is worth? Oh no. Thanks. Okay, Gods said next trip's getting a Doom Horror attack first then. No, so the other thing with Horrormark is it actually has a hidden counter you can't see.
That's some people don't know that Horrormark actually has a value attached to it.
Oh, I didn't see that. That question with Jamaro. Yeah, you're right. You can keep stacking it. It goes down 10% a turn. But
it never goes to 0.
It never goes to 0. Yeah, and then what ends up happening, and the reason why even one Horrormark is powerful is since it's never going to go away, as other horrors start attacking the marked person, they will add more Horrormarks through their attacks. Almost always.
Yeah, but
and it
so yeah, Horrormark actually has a value you can't see. That's a good thing to know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you permanently get rid of Pretender Gods. That is the ultimate counter to all of my Titan videos. Horrormark the Titan, lose the battle. Horrormark the Titan, you will win the war. That is probably the best.
Or win the battle after Horrormarking the Titan.
Yeah, that's an option too. Ideally, if they follow my advice in the Titan Guide, you will still lose the battle. The first one. Ideally. Titan should always win the first battle.
That's true.
Unless the player that has the Titan is walking around like, hey, look, guys, I have a Titan. And then you go, oh, yeah.
Or if the player they're attacking is generally prepared for stuff like that. That's why Titans often work best on nations that don't have thugs or SCs.
Yes, also true. That's why I think it was my Abyssia series where I made sure to kind of tell people always have at least 1 or 2 people in your army with like a great sword of sharpness and the strength to swing it, because it'll just it stops a lot of cheese.
Yeah, it does. Monuments, Titans, thugs.
Well, monuments will only work until they finally find a way to get the AI to cast Fist of Iron. Once big Earth mages start casting Fist of Irons, you cannot kill those in melee unless you just swarm them.
Oh, they do.
Very rare.
That's how we killed Ball and Stalin and the All Stars. That's what our Titan cast or our Monument cast.
That's how I wanted to kill the stupid dragon. Yeah, there he is.
Dude.
Because I was like, okay, they're just gonna sit there swinging and doing nothing at each other. But if my like Earth 6 Pretender casts Fist of Iron, he's gonna hit him like 6 times in the face.
Lagi knows. Did you hear from Lagi why?
Because it doesn't count the additional effects. Or something like that.
It doesn't account the additional bonus from strength and Earth magic.
Yeah, we got our Badal to cast it. That's how we were winning. We were one-shotting Knights of the Deep and Water Elementals.
All right. Well, with that, I'll close it out. And thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Darkwolf, for keeping me company. That was completely unplanned and
Yes.
unexpected. It's pretty cool.
There he goes.
All right,
Have a
guys.
good night.
night, everyone.
Don't be like me.
Go
Sleep.
go to sleep at a reasonable time. Work out if you can. Eat your veggies. Drink your milk. Drink
I work
a
out
lot more
every day.
water
Though,
than you
Harvey,
think.
now.
All right.
Yeah, drink a lot of water. Good night, guys.